tries to revoke the president's executive order protecting certain immigrant children, he would consider it a declaration of war. 18 passengers are suing Boeing and American Airlines after a plane caught fire last month on the tarmac at O'Hare, and 8 people are recovering after a carbon monoxide leak was detected in Evanston in a 2-family home in the 1400 block of Pittner Avenue. College buckets last night. Northern Illinois, Loyola, Northwestern, and Arkansas were winners. The Razorbacks over Southern Illinois. The NFL suspends Bears wideout Alshon Jeffrey 4 games without pay for taking an illegal substance. Bears' Kyle Long done for the season with an ankle injury. Cubs center fielder Dexter Fowler declining the club's 1-year qualifying offer. He'll sign a free agent multi-year deal with likely another team. The news, a service of the Illinois Partners for Clean Air. Idling your car engine is a big waste. Idling causes pollution. 6 billion gallons of fuel goes up in smoke every year. Learn to breathe easy and save easy with Illinois Partners for Clean Air at cleantheair.org. 5:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
You know what? I want to tell you something, America.
The Joe Walsh Show.
We ask our cops to do an ugly, impossible job. And way too many of us hate on them every day. I'll tell you what, America, you are going to wake up, so help me God, America, you are going to wake up one day without police officers in this country. And you will deserve it.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Did you know 40% of all cancer could be prevented? That's a fact. Along with maintaining appropriate body weight and regular exercise, the American Institute for Cancer Research and the USDA confirm that eating 9 to 11 servings of fruits and vegetables every day is the key. Now ask yourself, am I at risk? How many servings of fruits and vegetables did I eat today? Balance of Nature has solved this problem and provides an easy and affordable way to consume over 10 servings of 31 different whole fruits and vegetables every day.
Call now to find out how to get your free
You are safe
supply of Balance
in
of
Chicago.
Nature. Call 800
You are secure in Chicago,
751.
and you are supported
That's
in Chicago.
2468-751. Call now, 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Rain, sleet, and snow are coming to threaten your visibility and turn your commute into a battle. But the Michelin Man is ready to protect you with Michelin Stealth Wiper Blades. Exclusive SmartFlex technology makes these blades flex to the curve of your windshield, giving you the best wipe possible and streak-free, long-lasting performance for safer driving. Winter is coming, and when it arrives, be ready. Michelin Wiper Blades. It doesn't get any clearer than this. Available at Walmart and other fine retailers.
And I would say to the president-elect that the idea that you're going to penalize Boston, New York, the best thing we can do is give our officers the support they have to earn. If he decides to invest in infrastructure, because of, I've seen it 100 times with a little nudge, moral guidance, the grounding these kids need, they all...
Downtown Chicago next to the House of Blues. Check them out at 10pinchicago.com. Go for the bowling or just go for everything else.
5:07. Time to check the climate of your business with aircomfort.com, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Checking the roads, AM 560's Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. Good news on the outbound Stevenson. The overnight roadwork delays have dissipated. The roadwork delays, that is. They're gone. Everything looks good now on that outbound side. We had some construction south of 294, but everything is cleared up in that area. There's still some work on the outbound Ryan from 95th down to around Stony Island. The outbound Bishop Ford, there's a left lane closure, but no delay to speak of. The Indiana Toll Road still has some construction eastbound near the Gary Airport in the left lane, and then farther east from Ripley to 94 in the left lane. Traffic is a service of USA Network. Tonight on USA Network, Cat Shooter Bob Lee Swagger was the best Marine the U.S. military ever had until a conspiracy put a target on his back. From executive producers Mark Wahlberg and Stephen Levinson, Shooter premieres tonight at 10, 9 Central, following SmackDown Live on USA Network. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 58. Tonight, mainly clear, low 40. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 60. Patchy clouds tomorrow night, low 46. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
40 at O'Hare, 48 along the lakefront, 33 in Aurora, and yes, there were some light snowflakes falling there earlier this morning. Your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business and jobs powered by Tandem HR. Heard Sunday evenings at 6.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Phone 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line 646-368, turnkey.pro. Text line. Hey, congratulations. I wasn't here yesterday, Amy, and since you're still donning your Iowa gear, congratulations on the big win over the weekend against Michigan.
Thank you. His name was Keith Duncan. He's a freshman. He's from a small town in Iowa, and he nailed it. 33-yard field goal. And he beat Michigan, but it was just repeating history from 1985 when Rob Houtland, remember him? He prayed.
Yeah. And they beat Jim Harbaugh's Michigan team.
Right. I know. He was quarterback at the time.
It's
so it was
full circle.
Yeah, it was a good game. And everybody stormed the field. It was wonderful. I was supposed to go to that game, but I didn't go to that game.
Oh,
because that's how it's been this past few weeks.
That's unfortunate.
Yes, I know. But it's
timing is everything in life. Speaking of timing, the timing of Rahm's Little Town Hall.
Oh, yeah.
The little guy.
He's a weird guy.
Yeah, state-run media, including this station, I'm sorry to say, provided Rahm a infomercial yesterday. A town hall, 40 Chicago stations, giving him a half-an-hour commercial-free town hall where Bill Curtis, legendary anchorman Bill Curtis, lobbed up softballs for Rahm to hit out of the park. You know, it's the hard-hitting stuff, talking about kids and crime and the answers Rahm has 6 years in, what he's discovered. Like, you know, like this.
I've seen it 100 times with a little nudge, moral guidance, the grounding these kids need. They all pick the right path, not the wrong path.
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Go right or go left. There's a fork in the road. Which way are you going to go?
Take it, as Yogi Berra famously said. I don't understand. So, if kids have good parental oversight, is
that what that's supposed to mean? If I'm doing a good job as a parent, then things are going to be okay?
This is why this town hall was so important, because this is revelatory stuff.
Oh, yeah. Did you listen to it?
No, I have things to do. The guidance that comes, I mean, I knew I would get these nuggets, and that's really the takeaways.
These are things that you could keep when you give your parenting tips.
There's no question about it.
The Dan Proft parenting tip corner.
There's no question. You heard, there's how you raise a kid, so I hope you're listening. One more time. So if you're not in the car yet, you got pen and paper, write this down.
I've seen it 100 times with a little nudge, moral guidance, the grounding these kids need. They all pick the right path, not the wrong path.
Let me know. Give a call in, and if you need Rahm to come over to your house to provide moral guidance to your kids, get them on that right path that he described, then just give us the heads up. We'll make a list, and we'll send it over to the 5th floor. How about on cops? You want to know how it works when you're the mayor of a big city? The most dangerous city in America, most violent city in America, more murders than New York and L.A. combined, raw numbers. What do you do with a relationship with cops? Here it is.
The best thing we can do is give our officers the support. They have to earn it, but give them the support so they know they have community support, because we need them to go get out of the car, work the community, work within the community, not police the community, but be part of it.
Oh, okay. So they should come along with me to volleyball games or something? Be a part of the community?
Yeah.
Come on in, coppers.
So there you go. You 13,000 CPD officers. You get out there and earn it. and you'll know. How will I know when I've earned it? Ron will tell you. And when you've earned it, then you're a part of the community. You're no longer policing the community. We don't need you to police the community, police.
We need you to become a part of the community.
We need you to be woven into the rich tapestry of whatever neighborhood you happen to be in at any given time. Just as Ram is. He set the example of how comfortable he is in Inglewheel. Just as comfortable in Inglewheel as he is in Ravenswood.
When did he say that again? Inglewheel.
He's a press conference a couple years ago.
Right.
Inglewheel. So this is really good stuff. And then, of course, he did decide to wade into national politics as well. We'll get to that in a moment, but I want to get Tony in Downers Grove on. Hey, Tony, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan, good to have you back.
Thank you.
Hey, I was driving in my car last night, and I turned on FM every station. I thought George Orwell was in my back seat. I'm like, what?
Exactly.
There's not one station you could turn on.
George Orwell or Orson Welles, War of the Worlds, one of the two.
Well,
yeah.
God. Hey, Dan, I have a question for you. I want to give a petition out to have you debate Wayne Besson from 820.
I don't know who that is, but who? Wayne Messmer? The guy who sings the national anthem?
No, Wayne Besson, B-E-S.
Oh, Wayne Besson.
Oh, who is that?
I painfully listened to him on 820 just to hear the other side the last few days.
He's over there on the Progressive Talk station?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'll tell you what. I'll take on Eichner and Wayne Besson and throw in Dick Snodgrass, too, while you're at it.
Dick K, yes.
Yeah, I'll take them all on. Thanks for the call, Tony.
That would be really interesting. We had some, Michael Medved took on, Stephanie, what's her name? Anybody help me? Stephanie Miller from CPT. We had an event like that once. The Rolling Meadows Police had to come to it. It was so ruckus.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who Stephanie Miller is?
No, Medved. No, of course. No, I don't know who's Stephanie Miller. Who are
daughter
these
of
people?
a Michigan congressman. She's a flaming liberal talk show host.
Of course, she's on CPT.
Yeah, that was a very fun event. That was one of the better events that we've put on.
It's interesting. I actually like that idea that Tony raised, and apparently it's been done here. But I like the idea of ideas side by side. Right, because we're all in our lane. This is conservative leaning talk, and CPT is obviously progressive, and kind of we're all talking to largely people who are inclined to generally agree with us. I mean, there are some that listen for cognitive dissonance or want to pick a fight, and the same thing I'm sure at the other stations. But it's so much more interesting. I think it could be more fun if you put these ideas side by side. Now, there's one caveat to that.
What?
The best debates actually are not the socialist versus the capitalist. The best debates are actually two socialists or two capitalists because they're starting from the same premise. If you're not starting from the same premises, then it's very difficult to take the discussion anywhere because you can't kind of agree on a baseline. If we can't agree that 2 + 2 = 4, it's difficult to have a discussion of algebra, right? I mean, so it's...
Well, but it evolved. I mean, Michael Medved absolutely crushed her.
Well, of course he did.
Especially when it came to education. But that is the event where I met one of Stephanie Miller's supporters, one of her followers, who had a wife in a wheelchair, but it wasn't a wife. It wasn't even a human being. It was a mannequin. And he bought her Uggs and was pretending that she was real. And he's mentally ill, obviously, but he toted her around. He even
I prefer to.
I'm sorry.
I prefer to say visionary.
Okay, maybe he's a visionary, but he paid $100 for her, who's not even a person, to get a VIP pass backstage to meet Stephanie Miller. And John Howell and I were back there, and we just went, oh.
And now,
wow.
And now that mannequin has the afternoon drive slot on CPT.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Her name was Ginger, and when her blankie started slipping, he put it up and he said, "Oh, wait, hold on a minute," and he'd go put up her blanket on her, and he personified an innate object.
He dotes on her, and I think that's nice.
He did, and he said, "Don't you like her hairdo?" I mean, it went on and on and on. Anyway, let's go.
Now he has one named Amy.
Ooh. Today, some clouds and sun. Just another great day, a high of 58 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 60. And on Thursday, get this, it's going to be partly sunny, breezy. Temperatures could hit the record of 74 degrees. Let's get the travel times now and say good morning to Jim Talamonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. Welcome back. Right now, things are fairly quiet with the usual mild slowdowns on the inbound Ryan, inbound I-57, inbound Bishop Ford. No more than 2 minutes worth of delays in any of those places. There's road work on the Indiana Toll Road eastbound near the Geary Airport near Klein Avenue. There's a left lane closure there, and farther east at Ripley in the left lane, but no delays there. Elsewhere, the expressways and tollways for now are looking pretty good. Overnight roadwork is cleared on the outbound Stevenson. It's fine. I'm Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Upstream-ideas.com, long-form content that complements this show, but that some of the issues we don't always have time to get to, some of the guests that we can't take for an hour. Recent interviews on Against the Current, Alan West, Sebastian Gorka, Michelle Malkin. We do Connect the Dots Man on the Streets pieces. We do short commentaries. It's robust content at upstream-ideas.com. Go there, sign up. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Upstream-ideas.com.
Change in the market shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. In fact, since World War II, we've seen a correction on average about once every 18 months. That's why Arlington Capital Management developed proprietary tools that help them to see what's beyond your investment horizon. Like an experienced ship captain uses tools to avoid stormy weather, Arlington Capital Management uses tools to guide you through market corrections before it's too late and help us decide when to capitalize on opportunity. Call Arlington Capital Management today at 855-471-5796 to learn how their active management systems can help you. Each day, they actively explore the market, our economy, and all the variables that affect your investments.
To be clear,
markets never cloud their vision. The professionals at Arlington Capital Management use their tools and experience to guide them. Call Arlington Capital Management today at 855-471-5796 for a financial review. The number again is 855-471-5796 or learn more at arlington-capital.com.
Are you a business owner or manager who wants your facility to be more locked down? Do you occasionally need to limit access to your building from certain employees at certain times? Turn to Access Master, a proud supporter of AM 560 and Feed the Children. Access Master makes managing access to your facility easy. Whether you need to control access at a single entrance or to all your doors, Access Master will work with you to develop a plan customized for your business security needs. Everyone in your organization can have their own unique access profile to allow them access at certain times of days at various entrances. You can even monitor when employees are on site and receive an email or text notification in real time if employees need to enter your facility after hours. Business owners and managers, make an appointment to review options for controlling access to your facility. Contact Access Master today to help control access to your facilities. Call 800-321-2850. That's 800-321-2850. Please mention this ad.
AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. So we're talking about Tiny Dancers Town Hall. And if the question on your mind is, well, have Chicago's political leaders, have they learned anything from what happened last week, Tuesday? Any lessons they take away? No, none at all.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. Sanctuary City, worried about Trump's position on Sanctuary City, Republican Congress's position on Sanctuary City. This is just, we aren't going to enforce laws or facilitate federal law enforcement with laws that we don't like.
Right.
It's a fascinating position to take, and it's the state of affairs in Chicago. So what's Tiny Dancer going to do about it if Trump starts to impose punishment on cities that flout federal law?
Well, right. People that are here illegally, and there's a lot that we know that live in Chicago, are afraid that they're going to be deported. And Mayor Emanuel came forward, kind of throwing a shot across the bow to Donald Trump. What's wrong? To Donald Trump, saying, don't you dare take away our federal funding.
To be clear about what Chicago is, it always will be a sanctuary city.
Yes, it always will be. But that's the question. I mean, if Donald Trump said that he's going to suspend federal aid to sanctuary cities, Chicago, San Francisco, is he going to do that? Should he do that? I mean, he's walked back on a few campaign promises as is. Do you think that will happen?
We don't know. He hasn't done anything yet because he's the president-elect. He's not the president of the United States. So we'll see. But in terms of sanctuary cities and imposing punishment, yeah. Yeah. We're either going to have the rule of law or not. And we're either going to set forward immigration policy that is based on certain principles, not immigration policy that is designed to provide favor to politically advantageous groups at the expense of other groups. This is what Rahm and Obama and the left, this is the game they play.
Alderman Raymond Lopez, are you familiar with him, 15th Ward? He says, we don't care if we have to raise taxes to help those that are here illegally. Listen to this.
We are committed to being welcoming to all of those who come to our city.
Even to the point of raising taxes again.
You know what? Sometimes we have moral obligations to take care of those who are less fortunate.
They're saying if federal aid gets cut off, that we'll raise taxes here to help those who are less fortunate.
Fine. This is called federalism. And here's the federal law, and here's the federal government's provision of goods and services and resources, and here are the stipulations. And if you don't like it, don't take them. You do your own thing. Although I still think the idea that you can flout federal law as a elected official, major city or not, is baffling to me. But I mean, what? So for Alderman Lopez and all of those that are beating the drum for Sanctuary City now, El Gallito, Tiny Dancer. I just want to understand something. So as long as you get to this country, you're a citizen. As long as you get here and, our thorough vetting, we've seen how unthorough it is, there's nothing obvious about your desire to hurt other people or break other laws other than coming here legally, then you're a citizen. I mean, that's the position that they're taking. That's the position that President Obama took last week before the election in that interview on that Latino digital platform, where the interviewer said, I consider people here illegally citizens because they're contributing. Well, then we have a definitional problem because they're not citizens. I'm sorry. That does not make you a citizen. But Obama sanctioned them voting. And here, our entire political leadership in Chicago sanctions them doing anything.
Well, they're just letting them know and reminding them, because a lot of people have been losing sleep since Donald Trump was elected, reminding them that they're safe here.
I don't care about what is that? Reminding them that they're safe. First of all, they're not safe here. Have you seen the violent crime stats in Chicago? And you're going to tell me about how safe you are in Chicago? Oh, I'm so reassured to hear from Tiny Dancer or fungible 15th Ward alderman that we're a welcoming city. We're a welcoming city to violence. We're a welcoming city to lawlessness, which begets violence. So, what is the standard for admittance into this country? What is the standard for citizenship?
Well, you do it. My grandpa did. You come here, you apply. Well, you apply first, then you come to this country, and then you take citizenship classes.
That's not how I understand it from Obama. Listen to this. At his presser yesterday, Justin Sink, reporter from Bloomberg, asked him this question.
At least 750,000 undocumented immigrants provided the federal government information about themselves and their family as part of your Deferred Action Program. Wondering if there's anything you can do to either reassure them or shield that information from the incoming Trump administration, considering his stance on immigration.
So this is the DACA question, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. Obama's part of Obama's executive amnesty.
740,000 people we're talking.
He asked to reassure them, again, all the kind of the emoting, number one, and bigot baiting. That's what this really is. And then number two, can you shield the information from incoming President-elect Trump?
All the paperwork that was filled out for the Dreamers, right?
Can you hide it? Can you tell ICE to put it in a safe somewhere that Donald Trump can't? What are we talking about here? That is such a bizarre question. And then here's Obama's response.
On the Deferred Action Program that we have, known as DACA, that relates to Dreamers who are currently benefiting from these provisions, I will urge the President-elect and the incoming administration to think long and hard before they are endangering the status of what, for all practical purposes, are American kids.
Excuse me? For all practical purposes, they're American kids.
Well, they came here when they were brought here when they were children, when they didn't have a say in the matter. And they probably, half of them didn't even know where they were going on their flight or their journey here to the United States. So there's 740,000 people who are brought here as children who are currently in school or serving in the military.
I'm sorry, does that make them Americans?
No, but hopefully it'll give them a path to citizenship if if they're contributing to society, if they're willing to die in the armed services. Yeah, I would give them a path to citizenship. I'd put them at the front of the line.
That's not what I asked. So they're not Americans, and they're not citizens. And I look, I don't care if you're coming from Central Europe or Central Asia or Central America. I'm a pro-immigration guy. But I want to understand what the law is.
So do you want to kick them back out?
I want to understand what the law is, and I want it to be applied equitably across the board, regardless of whether you're coming from Central Europe or Central Asia or Central America. And that's not what's happening here. If you get here, however you got here, then you're an American kid and you're a citizen. That is the position, that is the substantive position that Tiny Dancer and his ballet troupe over at the city council and outgoing President Barack Obama, that's their position. So is that a defensible position? Is that a sensible way to do immigration policy in this country?
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Second Amendment Sports is a beautiful new 4,000 square foot showroom with an outstanding selection of Ruger firearms and accessories. Choose from over 25 Rugers in stock, from Vaquero revolvers to 10/22 rifles. Enjoy great Ruger quality and pricing that includes an excellent warranty plus customer service. And you won't pay gun or Cook County taxes at Second Amendment. Ask about affordable memberships offering range time and discounts. Practice on one of 14 premium ventilated shooting range. For Christmas, a Second Amendment Sports gift card is perfect. Second Amendment Sports and Ruger, excellence in firearms. Call 815-385-5522 for information or visit secondamendsports.com, 815-385-5522, or online at secondamendsports.com. Head north to Second Amendment Sports in McHenry, Chicagoland's Ruger retail headquarters. Open Black Friday with specials and giveaways all day. Second Amendment Sports, safety, recreation, protection.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Why did Donald Trump win? Mike Rowe explains at 5:35.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Mostly clear skies, 44 degrees. President Obama overseas this morning, taking part in the last official foreign trip of his presidency. First U.S. warship to visit New Zealand in more than 30 years, changing course to help evacuate people isolated by an earthquake in the coastal township of Kaikoura. USS Samson has been due to sail into Auckland tomorrow as part of a 75th anniversary celebration for the New Zealand Navy. They'll head to Kaikoura instead. President-elect Donald Trump continues to focus on building his team with a little more than 2 months before inauguration. And a senior Trump official says this morning, former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani is emerging as a Trump favorite to serve as Secretary of State.
We want to become a country where we have political vindictiveness after an election. Number two, we also don't want to be a country of unequal protection of the law.
Another Trump official says John Bolton is still the number one contender. There are now 3 names on the list of people hoping to become chairman of the DNC, including Minnesota Congressman Keith Ellison and South Carolina Democratic Party Chairman Jamie Harrison.
I mean, we have to go into a 50-state strategy plus.
Former DNC Chair Howard Dean also wants the job. An attorney for the widow of disgraced Fox Lake police officer Joe Glenowitz is requesting a judge dismiss all charges against her. Melody Glenowitz is accused of helping her late husband steal thousands of dollars from a police Youth Explorer program. Governor Rauner and Illinois House Speaker Mike Madigan set to meet later today. They'll resume discussions on the state's economic future. The gathering takes place one day after the governor initially requested to speak with Democratic legislative leaders in the House and Senate, and they refused. College hoops last night, Northern Illinois a win, Loyola a winner, Northwestern picks up a college buckets win, and Southern Illinois lost to Arkansas. The NFL suspends Bears wideout Alshon Jeffrey 4 games for taking an illegal substance. Dodgers shortstop Corey Seager, Tiger pitcher Michael Fulmer, the MLB Rookies of the Year. The news, a service of the 89-cent pancake deal at Burger King. How is this even possible? Right now at Burger King, you can get 3 pancakes for just 89 cents. Hot, fluffy, golden pancakes for just 89 cents. Unbelievable, but true. 3 pancakes, 89 cents, only at Burger King. Limited time only. Price and participation vary. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The voters have spoken, and after a long and contentious campaign, Donald Trump has been elected our 45th president.
Now it's time for America to bind the wounds of division.
What happens next for America?
We will begin the urgent task of rebuilding our nation and renewing the American dream.
Happens here.
It's going to be a beautiful thing.
This is AM 560.
Nothing we want for our future is beyond our reach.
The Answer.
If you're looking to relieve symptoms or support your well-being, head to Walgreens for brands you need like Advil, Centrum, Emergency, and Nexium 24-Hour and take your health in your own hands. It's your wellness. Own it.
It's the biggest sale of the season. It's the Apple Vacation Super Sale. Book now and save up to 50% on your winter vacation to Mexico or the Caribbean. Whether you're looking for an affordable weekend getaway or a full week of luxury, the vacation choices are endless with Apple Vacations. 7 nights at Ixtapa at Barcelo Ixtapa start from only $11.99. Or make it Huatulco. A full week of unlimited luxury at Dreams Huatulco Resort and Spa start from just $13.99. Both trips include round-trip nonstop air, resort transfers, all meals, drinks, and taxes. Call Carey Travel Express at 847-639-3300. That's Carey Travel Express, 847-639-3300. Or visit CareyTravelExpress.com. Hurry, best dates and hotels are going fast. Prices per person based on double occupancy for select departures starting January 7th, including charter air on Volaris from O'Hare, and taxes and fees, including September 11th security fees. See AppleVacations.com for baggage charges. Prices subject to availability and change restrictions apply. PC 16132.
536. Check the roads, AM 560's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike and Summit. Water main break at 60th and Harlem, mainly affecting southbound Harlem Avenue. We're seeing delays now on the inbound Eisenhower, 1st Avenue to Des Plaines Avenue. Just a 1 or 2 minute delay. The outbound side is fine. The Edens and the Kennedy are both looking good. Stevenson, it's slow, 83 to County Line and Harlem to Central. 37 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound now clear. Ryan, 17 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, 23 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford, 21. The tollways are good. Traffic is a service of USA Network. Tonight on USA Network, Cat Shooter Bob Lee Swagger was the best Marine the U.S. military ever had until a conspiracy put a target on his back. From executive producers Mark Wahlberg and Stephen Levinson. Shooter premieres tonight at 10/9 Central, following SmackDown Live on USA Network. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, clouds and sunshine, high 58 today, clear 40 overnight, 60 and sunshine tomorrow. 40 at O'Hare, 48 along the lakefront, 33 in Aurora. Your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy every Sunday afternoon at 5 on AM 560, The Answer.
Let not your heart be troubled. Listen to me, Sean Hannity. I love the latest news and what it all means for you. It's coming up at 2 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
What is up, Dan and Amy? And I want to get to Trump, but the Chicago thing is just something to behold.
What?
Paraphrasing William Gibson, the future is here. It's just not been distributed to Chicago. I mean, the reaction to the election and what's happened to the Democrat Party under Obama, which is it's been turned into a super minority party. It's incredible. And the reaction over the last week is
capitulation to Black Lives Matter by Chicago police, more resources, more cash for bankrupt, junk-rated CPS that has to borrow at Sopranos rates at present. But they find more cash for political purposes, to make a show, cash for coping with the outcome of the election for these delicate flowers over at CPS, then defying federal immigration law, kind of restating that. And then we have this Orwellian half-hour state-run media
town hall. I know.
Yeah,
so
foray
goofy.
by Tiny Dancer.
But I even asked our management here several times, why are we doing this? Why are we a part of this group of 40 stations?
I assume
it's
because Illinois Broadcasters Association.
Probably.
And, it's the whole kind of
well, didn't they have to pay something?
I don't know.
They had to pay money.
I don't know, but and you understand what this town hall is about.
It's about him promoting his agenda.
No.
I think.
It's about him continuing to try and resuscitate his standing for a 2019 reelection. That's what this is about. Because he's not getting emergency evac'd out of here to D.C.
No.
Because I'm with her didn't come in for him. So.
But yesterday. So
2019, if it's a crowded field, if the 19th Ward can't figure out if it's going to be Bridget Gaynor or Tom Dart, if Sachs, I guess Sachs would probably sit Kurt Summers down. Kurt Summers, the city treasurer right now.
He's the great hope.
Although you could have him run to further dilute the universe of voters, and then Rahm can, scrape together a plurality to get through into a runoff and potentially a runoff against another weak candidate and survive. I mean, in this city, based on their reaction to what happened on Tuesday, forget who even won the election. Just their reaction is not dissimilar from the safety pin crowd with Rape Melania signs outside of Trump International Hotel in D.C.
These anti-Trump protesters remind me of Occupy Wall Street.
Yeah.
Because they're not going away, and they are determined every single night to protest. And I do know one thing, that Donald Trump, God bless him, he has put a room aside in the Trump Tower to feed and to re-energize the Chicago police officers who are out there on a nightly basis because of these protesters.
You tell me what the difference is, other than they're not waving signs, what the difference is between Tiny Dancer and El Gallito and this crew in Chicago, the Chicago political ruling class, and those protesters. What's the difference? I don't see any, not substantively.
I wonder if they voted. I would love to go into that crowd and say, raise your hand if you voted in the last election. It's just a week ago. It seems like a lifetime ago, but I would love to know that.
Take a couple calls in here. Kevin in Hickory Hills.
Morning, guys. How you doing?
Hey.
I don't know another country that has an immigration policy that says if your parents make it here and you're born here, you're suddenly a citizen.
Well,
if
you're born here, you're a citizen.
Well, yeah, but if your parents are citizens.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Kevin. So he's saying you get here illegally, you have a kid, and then everybody's a citizen.
Well, isn't the child a citizen because his birth certificate is in the county of Cook or wherever he is born or she born?
If you're...
I mean, I know anchor babies.
Yes.
But those anchor babies are citizens.
Right.
Okay.
And so the question is on immigration policy, should that be the case? And, somebody who leads with his heart on this, Jeb Bush, you recall during the campaign.
It's about love.
That's right. It's an act of love. Coming here legally is an act of love, according to Jeb Bush. But he was talking about, and Marco Rubio talking about, the need to rethink birthright citizenship. Right? The
only thing I want to rethink are these vacation packages where people from Europe, well-to-do people, come to a lovely doctor, gynecologist in Manhattan and have a baby so that they can have dual citizenship. And they pay $40,000 to $50,000 to do that. I think that's wrong.
Okay.
That's a bit of a problem.
That's not exactly the tip of the spear on this issue.
I know, but I'm just saying that we allow that to happen. That's an option.
Well, here's the thing about immigration policy, and this is where Trump should go and what he should do to shame political hacks like Tiny Dancer and the crew here. Mm-hmm. Violent criminals. I go back to saying this again. Everyone agrees violent criminals who are not citizens should be deported.
Right.
And every year, Miss Saldana or previous ICE directors go before Congress and they're queried by the likes of a Ted Cruz or others about the number of illegals that have been released back into the population after serving a sentence or because they were caught and released and caught again and released again. Everyone agrees these violent criminals should be jettisoned from the country, and yet it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So why should I place any faith in anything else you have to say on this topic if you can't accomplish the thing that everybody says they want to accomplish, that there is no resistance to? It is strictly a political will issue. It is strictly an implementation matter. But you're not doing it. Why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it?
Because you need them for votes.
Violent criminals?
Not violent criminals, but I don't know why. I have no idea why they're not doing it.
Because it doesn't fit the narrative it doesn't fit the bigot baiting narrative. We're not going to deport people, or to the extent that people have been deported, including many under Obama. I think more under Obama than Bush.
Right.
It's done very quietly.
But why don't they talk about that? Why doesn't the mainstream ever mention how many people President Obama has deported?
Because that's not the narrative.
Well,
the narrative is the narrative is DACA. And executive amnesty and path to citizenship and sanctuary city and Latino power and turning out the Latino vote. So you don't want to talk about deporting Latinos or other people who are here illegally because that doesn't fit the narrative.
Well, you have to hear this. So Tanya Cabrera, she's from the Illinois Dream Fund. She was making it seem as if those who are here illegally are now the victims.
Some can't get up in the morning. They feel hopeless and scared, uncertain of the road ahead.
Yeah, it's a scary time for people who are here illegally. I mean, it is. There are a number of people that their kids go to our school and the parents are here illegally. They are on edge since Donald Trump won the presidency.
And so how should we feel about that?
I'm a bleeding heart Republican, of course. I feel for their families and for their children because the children don't want their parents deported, but the children were born here.
So what should we do about that? Nothing?
Fine them.
Fine. Yeah, fine.
Fine them. Then get in line. If you haven't committed a crime, you can stay here, and here's your path to citizenship.
Joe in Orland Park.
Are you there?
Yeah. Hey, Joe.
Hey, I'm going to agree with you guys. Good morning, by the way. Here's what I'm thinking. I wish Tiny Dancer would think a little bit before he opens his mouth and says stupid stuff. Think about this. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that if Trump starts deporting these illegal criminals, the bad guys, and start throwing them out, where's the rest of them going to flock to? Oh, let's move to the sanctuary city where we won't have to worry about being deported. And then guess what? They're going to nestle into all these neighborhoods that they're going to fit into quite nicely, and those neighborhoods are going to become much more less safe than they are right now. So if I was Eddie Johnson, I would call him up and say, hey, Mr. Mayor, guess what? You're making my job really hard, and you're endangering the rest of the people in these cities. Let's follow the law and deport these people that aren't supposed to be here.
Thanks for the call, Joe. Or at least work with federal immigration agencies.
So as it stands now, if you get pulled over in Chicago and you're here illegally, they can't turn you over to ICE because we're a sanctuary city.
Milo in Humboldt Park.
Thank you. An immigrant is someone that obeyed the law on purpose and will turn into a citizen. An illegal alien is someone that broke the law on purpose. My parents and my grandparents are immigrants. They obeyed the law on purpose. I don't want them, those are immigrants. I don't want Tiny Dancer using the word immigrants in that way. He should use the right word, illegal aliens. And Amy, if you're so worried about these children and these parents, the children should not be asking Donald Trump or me or America why this is happening. They should ask their parents. Their parents broke the law, not America. Leave my country out of it. Thank you.
Thanks, Milo.
Well, they came to this country for a better life. You don't think that wasn't a hard decision for them to make, to leave their relatives behind?
Yeah.
But they wanted something better.
I have empathy for that. A lot of people are waiting in line to do the same thing and following the law. A lot of people would like to come here for that better life as well. I mean, so then what is the response? What's the policy response? Open borders? Whoever can get here can stay. Is that it?
there is no
there has to be a policy.
Right.
This can't be like one-off. Oh, I like this person, I don't like that person. Or this person, this is a valuable constituency politically, and this is not a valuable constituency. That's how we have now. That's not the rule of law.
Lawless. There is
that's
no
the rule
law.
of men.
Right.
That's a banana republic. That's not the way to do it. And it's unfair to all those people trying to come to this country or who have come to this country for that better life, but have done so lawfully. And if we had the rule of law, then we could have a conversation about things like not taking more than 15 years to become a citizen once you get through the process, about expediting based on people who have acted lawfully and in good faith, expediting the granting of citizenship. We could do more on the immigration side for immigrants if we could reestablish the rule of law that treats everybody equitably. But the left doesn't want to do that, so we can never get to that place. It's actually the left that is undermining the prospects of legal immigration for so many, the prospects of that better life of which you speak. Tim in Wrigleyville. Hey, Tim.
Hi. I just wanted to comment that I'm a veteran, and I know a couple people that have gotten their citizenship through the military. In fact, one of them was an immigrant from Pakistan, and he took his oath of allegiance to become a citizen in Asadabad, Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Another friend of mine is in the Navy, and he wasn't taken seriously when they came in and asked, well, who needs to start their paperwork to become a citizen? And he raised his hand because he's white like I am. And they said, quit joking around. But he's like, no, I'm Canadian.
Oh, so no, not the Canadians.
I think it's perfectly acceptable if they want to join our military and serve in our military as a path to citizenship, because they've already proven to us that they want to be part of our system. And that's all I have to say.
All right. Thanks for the call, Tim. The other Tim in Aurora.
Howdy, sir. This is my thought. We have a border issue. We have a wall issue. Why can't we set up a system of a massive public works project? The people that are here illegally, they come out, they register. We bring them down to the border. They help to build the wall for us. While we're doing that, they need to give us their real name and background information. During that time, we get the wall built. We are able to check out their backgrounds. If they're legal, they're put on a path to citizenship, yes, but we also get our wall built.
Okay. Thanks for the call, Tim. Tom in Schaumburg.
Good morning. I've been listening to Democrats for 25 years tell us that we got 11 million illegal aliens in this country. What the hell happened 25 years ago that all the rest of them stopped coming in? And what about the 11 million that were already here? What did they do? Did they run to the nearest clinic to get spayed and neutered? I don't understand how this number could still be 11 million. We got to have 25, 30 million illegals in this country.
Well,
and still we have people saying that, well, if you're born here, you're a citizen. No, I'm sorry, you're not. Amy, I think the term you're looking for is fruit of the poisonous tree. If your parents were illegal, that doesn't make you legal because they broke into our country and had a baby. Sorry, the 14th Amendment doesn't say that. Read it, understand it, then you'll know what you're talking about. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Candace and DuPage.
Good morning. I was reading the new Imprimis from Hillsdale College.
Imprimis.
And I thought it was pretty brilliant. It said, now, Amy, this is why you need to understand this. A world without borders is a world without citizens. And a world without citizens is a world without the rights and privileges that attach exclusively to citizenship. So basically, if you have no borders, we're going to end up like the EU, where we're basically an administrative state ruled by unelected bureaucrats. Nobody wants this in this country. That's why America's so great. We must have borders. And that means, too bad.
We have walls up in places already in key areas along the Mexican border.
Mm-hmm.
We have walls in place, and Donald Trump is going to build fences, which I suggested in areas where people are not trying to cross over.
Ben in Plainfield.
Hey, good morning. Just wanted to let you know I was a deportation officer. The current administration, miscounts deportation.
Yeah, I've read that, actually. Yeah, go ahead, Ben. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Under the previous administration, they didn't count people turned away at the border as a deportation or a removal. Now they miscount or add those numbers in, call them removals, and claim that he has been enforcement-minded when, in fact, he has not been.
Right. I mean, I would say, yeah, thanks
It's
for the...
just people turned away at checkpoints.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Ben. Yeah, that's a good point. But I would say, when I said he's, according to the numbers, and of course you can cook the stats as Ben is suggesting, deported more individuals than did George W. Bush. Neither one of them was law and order on this issue. This country hasn't been law and order on this issue since, frankly, going back to Reagan's immigration reform swap that he kind of got duped on back in 86. So if you get security first, and if you do some things that everybody agrees to reestablish faith in the rule of law, then you can be so much more welcoming if you actually had a functioning system. And since we don't, it's very difficult to have much sympathy for Tiny Dancer's constituents.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
No matter what type of business you're in, having a strong business banking partnership can help your bottom line. I'm Jeff Boundy, president of Cornerstone National Bank and Trust Company. We strongly believe that trust, service, and relationship are the cornerstone of a successful business banking partnership. Customers like Dr. Steichen of Northwest Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery agree.
Hi, my name is Dr. Michael Steichen of Northwest Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery in Arlington Heights, Elgin, and Lake Zurich. As an oral surgeon and business owner, I recognize the importance of relationships. I need a bank that responds quickly and creatively and understands the unique needs of healthcare practices. Cornerstone has been a valuable business partner. Has helped me grow my practice and seize opportunities as they come up. Whether it's a line of credit, financing equipment, or real estate, Cornerstone is there for me.
Thank you, Doctor. Please visit cornerstonenb.com, or I invite you to give me a call at 847-654-3000 to explore a business banking partnership.
Equal Opportunity Lender. Member FDIC.
Dan Proft here, gentlemen. It's Movember. Yes, another month to remind us to take better care of our health. Many of us are going to grow mustaches this month, but hey, why not go to a doctor you can trust too? I personally recommend going to the licensed medical providers at Low T Center. They're friends of mine you can trust. At Low T Center, they know we hate going to the doctor. That's why they make it quick and easy. And with their on-site lab, you get your results back in about 20 minutes. They even accept most health insurance and have flexible hours, including Saturday hours. And right now, in honor of Movember, Low T Center is offering a testosterone and prostate level test for just $50. It's a great time to get your levels checked, especially if you don't have insurance or if you haven't made your deductible yet. Call 630-409-4305. 630-409-4305 is the number. Give my friends at Low T Center a call and tell them Dan Proft, that's me, sent you. 630-409-4305 or visit them online at lowtcenter.com.
Hi, this is Jeff from Basement Flood Protector. Finishing a basement requires a tremendous amount of time and money, transforming concrete walls into living space better suited for children playing, friends watching football, or just hanging out. But how many of you made the investment in a sump pump system that ensures the protection of your new living space in the event of heavy rains, mechanical failures, and power outages? You went from concrete to carpet, maybe concrete to hardwood, and in the event of a flood, you're going to go from squeegee to replacing floors. However, by joining our network of 25,000 customers, you will enjoy the same peace of mind knowing your basement is safe regardless of weather conditions because of early warning mechanisms and simply having equipment that just works as expected. We are Basement Flood Protector. Protecting homes from flooding is all we do. I invite you to call today at 800-238-0822 or visit don'tflood.com to learn more and for no-nonsense pricing. That's 800-238-0822 or don'tflood.com. Use the call letters of this station for a 5% discount.
Hi, I'm Mary Beth. I had a failed root canal, and it was causing me pain. Dr. Neruzzi took care of my tooth, and I got my implant, and then I had another after that fail, and he did that one as well. And the experience was, they were amazing. It was not painful at all like I thought it was going to be, and I was very, very, very nervous about the whole thing. Nobody enjoys getting, implants or dental work, and I procrastinated, but I had to have it done. And he took me in immediately and took care of it. And he made it really affordable. They're very accommodating to people that cannot afford to have it done. I would recommend Dr. Neruzzi to anybody, and I have given him referrals. My own sister had hers done by him.
This is Dr. Neruzzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants. Go to implantsforme.com.
For missing teeth, dental implants are wonderful. The advantages are fantastic. Just remember, implantsforme.com. Implantsforme.com.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Chuck Spaveri, CEO of Spaveri's Custom Counters, a Chicagoland manufacturer of residential and commercial countertops. If there's a local commercial bank who knows how to get a deal done, it's Signature Bank. When my brother and I needed it, Signature Bank came through with a creative financing solution. That's because Signature Bank has experience working with companies like ours, a second-generation, family-owned and operated manufacturer. Our business matters to Signature Bank, and that comes through in every visit and every phone call with their team, right up to the bank's co-founders, Kevin, Mick, and Brian. Spaveri's is proud to bank with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Rudy G. for Secretary of State and other Trump updates at 6:06.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, the mayor pledges to fight on gun violence. Emmanuel and Gutierrez vow to protect immigrants in the city of Chicago. Intervals of clouds and sunshine today. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. It's the first stop of President Obama's last foreign trip, Greece. And Donald Trump is expected to be a big topic. Fox's Simon Owen is live in Athens.
Dave, tight security here for a two-day visit. It's the first time a sitting U.S. president has been to Greece since Bill Clinton in 1999. And on that occasion, there were anti-American riots. This time, things seem more friendly. The president meeting with the Greek president as we speak. He'll see the Greek prime minister after that. And he'll attempt to reassure European allies who've been rattled by the election of President-elect Trump. On the campaign trail, Mr. Trump suggested there could be big changes to transatlantic relations. Dave?
Simon, President-elect Trump has spoken with Russian President Vladimir Putin. They discussed improving relations and Syria. The Russian Air Force today launched a new round of airstrikes, saying it's targeting ISIS. Syrian opposition activists claim rebel-held areas of Aleppo have been targeted. Today, the president-elect will continue working on building his administration. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, President-elect Donald Trump and Vice President-elect Mike Pence will huddle in Trump Tower in New York as they work to fill cabinet positions. A senior source telling Fox News that former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani is being considered for the Secretary of State job, but the choice is not locked in. At a Washington event sponsored by the Wall Street Journal, Giuliani, a top Trump surrogate, said he won't be Attorney General in a Trump administration. Another official cautions that John Bolton, a former U.S. ambassador to the UN, remains in running for the Secretary of State job. Dave?
Rachel, before leaving for Greece, President Obama commiserated with Democrats.
Expected losses are hard enough. Unexpected ones are just worse.
Telling a conference call.
You're allowed to mope for a week and a half.
Hillary Clinton held a call with House Democrats saying heartbreaks don't heal overnight, urging them not to be discouraged or divided. House Republicans meet privately today to pick leaders for the next Congress. Paul Ryan expected to remain House Speaker. Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
45 degrees. We have mostly clear skies this morning. 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A motion will be presented to a Lake County judge today by attorneys for the widow of disgraced late Fox Lake police officer Joe Glenowitz. They're requesting that judge dismiss all charges against her. Melody Glenowitz is accused of helping her late husband steal thousands of dollars from a police Youth Explorer program. That motion raises several arguments, including the charges are so vague they may be unconstitutional. Governor Rauner and Illinois House Speaker Mike Madigan are set to meet later today to resume discussions on charting the state's economic future. The gathering takes place one day after the governor initially requested to speak with Democrats, both from the House and the Senate, and they chose not to meet. Mayor Rahm Emanuel and Illinois Congressman Luis Gutierrez say Chicago will continue to protect immigrants from deportation.
I call upon Paul Ryan and all of the other Republicans who for years have said they believe in immigration reform to sit down at the table and accomplish immigration reform and put that before the desk of Donald Trump.
Both spoke yesterday during an event at the Lurie Children's Hospital about how some across the state are feeling stressed out about the election of Trump. Chicago's police superintendent believes increased patrols by authorities reduced the amount of gun violence over the weekend in the city.
Our combined efforts
were meant to send a clear message to criminals in these communities that their actions will not go without consequence, and to let residents know that we're there to help them take their communities back.
Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson, 18 passengers are suing Boeing and American Airlines after a plane caught fire last month on the tarmac at O'Hare. College basketball last night, Northern Illinois, Loyola, and Northwestern with wins. The NFL suspends Bear wide receiver Alshon Jeffrey 4 games without pay for taking an illegal substance. Free agent Cubs center fielder Dexter Fowler declined the club's option of a 1-year offer worth about $17.2 million. He's expected to sign a multi-year offer with another team. The news, a service of Liberty Mutual. From weather to traffic to news and everything in between, you have enough things to worry about every day. Insurance should not be one of them. You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance. 6:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
You need to understand that the way you build wealth is you do not use the evening news or CNN or Fox to set the tone of your emotions around your investing.
The Dave Ramsey Show.
If you're thinking of changing your investing patterns because you're watching the news, you need to turn off the news. You are in charge of your destiny.
Dave Ramsey. Weeknights starting at 7. Presented by Wintrust Community Bank on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that you're probably driving right now. Sitting comfortably behind the wheel with a tasty caffeinated beverage in your cup holder. Well, if you were driving with Uber, you could be earning money right now too. That's because Uber is the ultimate side hustle. Extra cash whenever you want. Earning you can turn on and off, just like your car. This isn't just another job, it's a totally flexible way to earn. So go ahead, get your side hustle on. Visit uber.com/drive now. That's uber.com/drive now.
I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Recently, mortgage rates have dropped to the second lowest level in history. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is all the way down to 3.5%, APR 3.57%. It's a great time to refinance with Quicken Loans and save hundreds every month. So lock in this ultra-low rate before it goes back up. Call 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
6:06. Let's get a check of the roads in our AM 560 traffic center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Some fog in areas this morning. A lot of following distance. Visibilities are reduced substantially. We have some delays on the eastbound Adams Tollway, busing to the Des Plaines Oasis, then from the Tri-State to the Kennedy. Kennedy itself runs 22 minutes, O'Hare to downtown up on 24. The Edens is fine. Inbound Eisenhower delays start at Wolf Road. 35 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. Out on 32, Stevenson, 43 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Out on 36, Ryan, 21 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic service of the 89-cent pancake deal at Burger King. How is this even possible? Right now at Burger King, you can get 3 pancakes for 89 cents. 3 hot, fluffy, golden pancakes for just 89 cents. Unbelievable but true. 3 pancakes, 89 cents, only at Burger King. Limited time only. Price and participation vary. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Patchy morning fog for the outlying areas. Otherwise, today we will see a mix of clouds and some with a high of 58. For tonight, it will turn out to be mainly clear with a low 40. Then a mostly sunny day tomorrow, high of 60. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
40 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 6:30. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Illinois Rising, hosted by Dan Proft and the Illinois Policy Institute. Sunday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
To be clear about what Chicago is, it always will be a sanctuary city.
The people have spoken. Donald Trump will be the next president, the 45th president of the United States.
We are very grateful in Trump world to both
Bannon and Priebus, and I think you'll see them continue to work together.
People said that if their candidate lost the election, they'd be moving to Canada. So let me give you the quickest and directest route. You'd leave out of Tulsa here. You take Highway 75 northbound.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I must say, I am just finding it fascinating to watch the recriminations, the analysis, the left trying to make sense of the Trump victory, and frankly, the below-the-fold story about Republican domination of the halls of power in this country. 2/3 of state legislatures, and legislators by extension, 33 governors, both chambers, president. It's really staggering. And thank you, President Obama. And Jonathan Alter writes in the Daily Beast, and he's one of these mavens of the DC press corps. He gives 7 reasons why Hillary Clinton lost, and he frames it that way. Hillary Clinton lost the election. Donald Trump didn't win it. And I don't disagree with that. From the beginning, it was going to be who can make the election a referendum on the other. Ultimately, Trump was more successful doing that than Hillary was. But one of the 7 factors he gives for Trump's victory, us, Amy.
Us.
Me and you.
Don't put that hate on me, Ricky Bobby.
Talk radio.
I've lost a lot of friends in the past week, but
oh, have you?
Yeah, I have, and my church has turned on me.
Oh.
It wasn't about forgiveness or hope for the future. It was about revenge on Sunday. How we're going to get back.
Can I? Can I offer Mike Rowe in response to the friends you've lost and the?
Can I have the Sarah McLachlan song? I will remember you.
The
please?
cult that you're not allowed to participate in apparently anymore. You're actually thrown out of a cult.
No, people that are Republicans at the gym, wherever they come up secretly talking to each other as if nobody can know that they voted for Trump.
Well, on the whole friends thing.
Yeah.
Mike Rowe, Dirty Jobs and Discovery Channel fame.
And the Ford talk guy, right? Ford spokesman for Ford?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Mike Rowe here. Hey, Mike Rowe.
And one of my favorite shows, does the narration for Deadliest Catch.
Oh, that's right.
I love that show. I want to do a crab boat in the Bering Sea. I want to do that for a couple of months, maybe next year.
Yeah, and get a little GoPro on your head and get out on that boat and start fishing, Dan.
Probably perish, but, it's a good way to go.
The camera will make it, so we'll see your death.
Mike Rowe took to Facebook, said, quote, "Who tosses away friendship over an election? Are my friends turning into those mind-numbingly arrogant celebrities who threaten to move to another country if their candidate doesn't win? Are my friends now convinced that people they've known for years who happen to disagree with them politically are not merely mistaken, but evil and no longer worthy of their friendship?" Maybe that's the question you should put to your friends.
I was uninvited to a birthday party for me on Saturday because
you were uninvited to your own birthday party.
Yep. Not kidding.
How does that work?
Just a plans shifting was the text message.
Dad, I want to come to my birthday party.
Can't, son. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's bad. But you're not going to make me cry because I've been crying for 3 days and I am out of my mind.
About what?
I have known my friend since, she's been in my life for 32 years.
Yeah, well.
And she is not who I have known. And she and her other group of friends are all going to Washington, D.C. on the 21st.
Oh, for the Million Woman March?
They bought their tickets yesterday. That's fine. And my church is going too. They're going to have a busload of people.
Sure they are.
They're heading out. Nobody saw this coming. And everyone who's a Trump supporter is racist and he's a misogynist and how you can support a rapist.
Well, here's to new beginnings. Oh, by the way, speaking of that, I mean, your friends are so funny. They're cartoon characters. They're exactly what we're... No, they are. No. They're exactly what we're talking about.
I know, but...
L.A. Times. I mean, the Mike Rowe response. How about L.A. Times? We're called redneck, ignorant, racist. That's not true. Trumpist supporters explain why they voted for him. Tell your friends... Donald Trump thanks them very much. They are the reason that Trump is the president of the United States. Barack Obama is the reason that Trump is the president of the United States. left-wing non-elites in all of our cultural institutions are the reason that Donald Trump is president of the United States. So next time you see them, here's to new beginnings, former friend. Thanks so much. Trump is in the White House because of you, because you were rejected. It wasn't just that Hillary is the most unlikable person, perhaps on the planet, certainly the most unlikable person ever to continue to run for president multiple times. It's that all of these people were rejected too, and they know it. They know they were rejected. They know they're on my list.
How many people didn't show up to vote last Tuesday? I heard 4 million, then I heard 17 million. Nobody was excited about Hillary Clinton.
Right.
I mean, if you look at the numbers.
Right.
Nobody. And then if you look at the Latino vote, my goodness, Donald Trump received 29%. Mitt Romney had 27%.
Let's go back to the women for a second.
Yeah, women are the ones who put Barack Obama in office for 2 consecutive terms.
All of the talk about college-educated women, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hillary Clinton won college-educated women 51-45. 51-45 college-educated women. So your friends at Lakeview and all of those sophisticated barbarians in Chicago Metro who think there's no college-educated woman would vote for Donald Trump. Oh, really? Hillary won that demographic barely.
But why is there a secret society for Trump supporters? I mean, really, it's as if we're under attack. I feel ostracized. I feel like on an island on my own.
That's the Alinsky tactic.
But I found one other person.
The Alinsky tactic is to make the majority feel like their opinions are the minority. And so you're afraid to speak up. That's the whole thing.
But the Democrats are so giving about same-sex marriage, about transgenders, about everybody, but they cannot be tolerant of Trump supporters.
Well, they're exposed. They're not tolerant.
Are they just angry right now and later they may become tolerant? Donald Trump is not.
When were they ever tolerant? They're thugs.
No, they seem tolerant of people's, if you want to get married to a man, you can get married to a man.
Uh-huh. Is that tolerance? That's what you think tolerance is? That's not the definition of tolerance. That's ignorance. But it's not a single issue. When did they come around to that position? 15 minutes ago? Where have they been all of their lives? Why did it take so long? If this is such an obvious human rights position, the point is this. It goes back to understanding the political intersection, the approach they take, which is bigot baiting, which is imposition of will, which is silencing and imposing fear so that they shall have their way. They shall lord over you. These are people who think they are the members of a vanguard class who should run everybody's life for them. They tolerate no dissent, and they will steamroll you if they can. And unfortunately, and they're disproportionately represented at the leadership level in institutions that have a lot of cultural power in this country. Media, entertainment, corporate boardrooms, K through 12 through higher ed. And so you feel like you're surrounded because you look to institutions that are foundational and you see them lording over those institutions. And that's been a failure of conservatism, if we're going to be real honest about it. But you look at these numbers. Non-college educated women, 62-34 Trump. You mentioned nearly 1 in 3 Latinos voted for Trump.
Right. African-American men voted 13% for Donald Trump, more than Mitt Romney got.
So,
African-American females, 4% to his 3%.
So, I mean, it's, these are small numbers. I wish the numbers were bigger, but I want it for those people that all they can offer in explanation is racist, rednecks, et cetera, et cetera.
Misogynist. When did you start supporting a racist?
No, but
who are you?
No, but right. It's the Trump voters. It's the mistake that a lot of Republicans made in the primary against Trump too. They didn't just go after Trump. They went after Trump supporters. And this is an important distinction. And it's also important when that distinction is not made.
But the mainstream media made all Trump supporters look crazy because they picked out the crazy ones in the crowd.
Of course.
But that's what they think. They think that everybody who voted for Donald Trump is uneducated and a racist.
That's what they want to think.
Stupid.
So here's the question to them. This is the same thing when Tiny Dancer Star Chamber produces a report on the Chicago police and says, it's a systemically racist institution. Is that right? So you're telling me the nearly 6,000 Chicago police officers who are black or Latino, they're racist? So the 1 in 3 Latinos, nearly, that voted for Trump, are they all racist too? Are they all uneducated? Are they all xenophobes and homophobes and all the phobes and all the isms? Are they? Are the 45% of college-educated women, are they misogynists? The 45% that voted for Trump, are they misogynists? The 62% of non-college educated women, are they misogynists? Do they think that, do they endorse every word or instance in Trump's storied past? Is that what they're saying by voting for Trump? I don't think so. So you can't distinguish?
God, I wish I could read you these text messages.
Well, I know.
mean, it's
well,
just,
so but
I don't know what the hell's going on around here.
But tell me, this is what I respond to. Tell me about again, not numbers as big as I wish they were, but tell me about 29% of Latinos and 45% of college-educated women. All of them are racist, redneck, xenophobes, intellectually disabled, and so forth. I mean, that's what they're being called. All of them are. What about in your protected categories left? Because every Latino is something to celebrate, and every white person is something to denigrate, except for the liberal white person. Okay. Well, so let's look.
And everyone keeps arguing, if Hillary won, Donald Trump supporters would have taken to the streets. No, they would have not. Did we take to the streets when President Obama won 2 times in a row? No.
I mean,
we didn't take to the streets. I think Hillary Clinton supporters took to the streets. Some are paid protesters because they were so surprised that Donald Trump won.
What have we seen?
I was surprised Donald Trump won.
What have we
too.
seen? It's pedestrian. It's so consistent. The consistent inconsistency of the left. The consistent hypocrisy of the left. That's what's on display here. And
they're talking about that he's going to be killed. The text messages are to the fact that as he flip-flops, he will have to contend with those that believed him on his phenomenal BS. They will kill him.
That's yeah. But this is the unhinged left. I mean,
wearing T-shirts that say things I can't even read on the air. Walking around Chicago with T-shirts that have swear words on them in front of children.
How about?
And you're supposed to be a pillar of the society. You're an embarrassment. Take off the T-shirt. Put a jacket on.
How about I'm with her? Are you with the protesters that had the rape Melania signs outside Trump Hotel in D.C.?
Nobody talks about that. The left doesn't talk about it. My church didn't talk about that.
Is that the high-minded discourse we have come to enjoy from those deep thinkers on the left? And all this, too, what we know about these protests. Blocks of anti-Trump protest buses caught on tape right here on Canal Street being bussed in from Wisconsin.
Really?
Yeah, being bussed in from Wisconsin. George Soros, Democracy Alliance, had a little gathering of the left billionaires. You think there's not money on the left? That's where most of the money is. Fighting back is the first pledge. Did say Gara LaMarche, who's George Soros's right-hand person. This was a meeting at the Mandarin Hotel of billionaire progressives who each give $200,000 a year to participate in this group. It's about 100 multimillionaires and billionaires of the left that have, according to Politico, given about $500 million to progressive and radical left causes over the last decade. So they're engaged in their agitprop with these protests, and they're retooling and refueling, and they're going to put in the fight. I mean, you think this is all organic? Come on. I just want answers to these questions, though, from the left.
Well, I just want to know when it's going to end. Because
Because
it's hard and it's draining to be hated.
It never ends.
It never ends.
That's why you have to embrace it.
Maybe I will after I'm done grieving. I'm a chick, Dan. We process things differently.
Your friend.
When you say goodbye to friends, it's not easy.
It's your friend who's lost something here. And shown herself to not be a particularly redeemable person, I would say. Mike on the north side.
Good morning. Amy, I'm disappointed in you. For someone who played sports, you don't know how to handle bullies. You have to fight them back. So this is what you do. You hire someone like me. I come to the party, and all those mincing metrosexual husbands of theirs,
yes,
and those dried out old hag,
yes,
Trixies, I will rip them a new one. I will embarrass the crap out of them. I'll send them running, wishing they never brought up politics again. They won't come out of the house for at least 3 months.
Mike from the North Side, available for weddings, bar mitzvahs, family events. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate the call, and I think that would be fun.
I have a function for him to go to tonight.
And I bet he would do it. Jay in Lowell, Indiana.
Yeah, I have a question. If all of us white people that voted for Trump are racist, well, did the 93% of blacks that voted for Obama, are they racist too?
Right, exactly. Thanks for the call, Jay. Right, it's okay if we talk about the black vote as monolithic, and it's okay if black families vote, at a 90% plus clip for the Democrats. That's not a problem. But when white lower to middle income families vote essentially as a block, like they did here, Donald Trump won that demographic by 39 points. That's racist. I don't understand. Why can't white lower to middle income families vote monolithically the same way that minority groups do?
I keep hearing that it was a minority group that Hillary Clinton ignored the white vote.
Yeah, much to Bill Clinton's chagrin, by the way, and in contravention of his advice. A lot more leaking out about that, what Bill Clinton was suggesting versus what they chose to do. Bob in Waukegan.
Yeah, here's something for Amy to print on a T-shirt or for people to buy billboards about. Tolerance is not about when you give grace to people who agree with you. Tolerance is when you give grace to people who don't agree with you. So the fact that they aren't tolerant, that they don't agree with you, means that they aren't tolerant at all. So you cut the last part of that out of the quote. I know it won't fit on a T-shirt, but that's a fact.
Thanks.
Tolerance doesn't, for LGBTQ, whatever, because they agree with them. That's not tolerance. That's just agreeing with people.
Thanks for the call, Bob.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Not available in all states.
Hey, you two. What brings you to the mall?
We're just here checking on our robot.
Your robot?
Yeah, our Reese and Irvy's Froyo robot. Diane and I became franchisees last month.
And couldn't be happier. It serves premier frozen yogurt creations to customers in 60 seconds. And the yogurt is delicious.
Yep, our customers absolutely love it. That's it over there.
Whoa, that's incredible. People really do love your Froyo robot. So, you own this?
Sure do. Reese and Irvy's Froyo robots are available across the country, and it's super easy. Reese and Irvy's provided us with everything we needed. They even help you secure amazing locations. Movie theaters, grocery stores, college campuses, theme parks. They make any location a sensation.
And everyone loves frozen yogurt. That's incredible. How do I get a Froyo robot of my own?
You just go to froyofranchising.com and enter promo code 9797. But hurry, because locations and robots are going fast.
Froyo.
Yeah, froyofranchising.com. Promo code 9797.
Hey, you've heard the name Turnkey IT for years on this radio station, and you know that they do something with IT for business. The truth is that Turnkey IT supports users, not simply computer devices. Now, the average consumer now has just under 4 connected devices: smartphones, tablets, laptops, and desktops. And these devices connect to fitness devices, watches, thermostats, heck, even refrigerators. So the professionals at Turnkey IT help you connect all of them together so your company is as connected as you want it to be. Turnkey IT has a team of professionals who help users every day, just like you and me. From the simplest to the most complex systems, they make technology workable, usable, and reliable. So if you're tired of just settling for technology and want to really make your technology work for you, visit turnkey.pro today to see how simple and affordable it can be to get your tech world spinning. That's turnkey.pro, turnkey.pro.
Many of you own or manage growing companies, and you know that your entire business depends on your phones. If your phone service provider struggles to deliver your calls, it can mean lost revenue. That's often the case with an outdated phone system. The solution? Well, it's a company that we use here at AM 560, Innovative Networks. They excel at providing innovative solutions to reinforce your company's phone infrastructure and enhance call flow. We truly appreciate how comprehensive, diligent, and cost-effective Innovative Networks was in providing solutions that scale as our business expands. Innovative Networks can even replace your outdated phone system at no cost and provide hands-on training to maximize your capabilities. You'll save money and be more focused on growing your business. Here at AM 560, we're thrilled with Innovative Networks, so follow our lead and call Innovative Networks at 312-453-7777. They're rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau. Call 312-453-7777 or visit go4inet.com. That's go, the number 4, I-N-E-T, phonehome.com.
The most recent U.S. Supreme Court decision on the Affordable Care Act made one thing certain. We will all have to deal with this ever-changing law until at least 2017. If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. That's right, your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 20-year licensed broker who's been educating AM 560 listeners on the Affordable Care Act for the last 5 years.
Thanks, Dan. From now until January 31st, you cannot be denied coverage based on a pre-existing condition. Aetna, Coventry, United Healthcare, and Harkin Health no longer offer health insurance subsidies even if you qualify. One company still does, and they still offer plans that provide access to Northwestern Memorial, University of Chicago, and Rush University Medical Centers. Call me. I can help.
Thanks, Steve. How can our listeners get in touch with you?
They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I had gout in both my knees, and it's gone.
Well, I'm pretty stupid. I should have ordered it 15 years ago. Best thing I ever got in my. It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life.
He had eczema on his hand, and it cracked for years. He did anything from doctor, every cream, everything. And 3 months on the veggies and fruit, it was gone.
They're just awesome. They keep asking me, what am I doing? I told them what I did with my cholesterol. I had the blood test, right? And it went down 100 points. 262, now it's 162. Everything is just perfect.
Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Call now, 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Who is the shadowy lurking figure named Steve Bannon at 6:36?
But first, into the newsroom we go to a very non-shady man. Here's Mike Scott.
39 degrees this morning. The president kicking off his final foreign tour of his presidency in Greece. The president making the rounds on his farewell tour. He's due to visit the Greek president's home today, then fly on to Germany, and then Peru. Donald Trump is stateside, trying to put together a White House staff. Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani appears to be looking to become the next Secretary of State and try to demonstrate his knowledge of the nation's military and financial relationships around the world yesterday in a hour-long speech in Washington, D.C.
ISIS short-term, I believe, is our greatest danger.
He added that Donald Trump can be expected to show greater military force as a deterrent against China and reset relations with Russia's Vladimir Putin. There are now 3 names on the list of people hoping to become chairman of the Democratic National Committee. Former DNC Chair Howard Dean wants the job, as does Minnesota Congressman Keith Ellison. The latest to announce he's running, South Carolina Democratic Party Chairman Jamie Harrison. A Georgia man accused of intentionally leaving his son to die in his SUV during a very hot day is guilty on all counts. Prosecutors point to the internet history of the man as evidence he wanted to live a child-free lifestyle. An attorney for the widow of disgraced Fox Lake police officer Joe Glenowitz is requesting that a judge dismiss all charges against her. Melody Glenowitz is accused of helping her late husband steal thousands of dollars from a police youth explorer program. Her lawyer filed a motion raising several arguments, including some of the charges are so vague they may be unconstitutional. That motion will be presented to a Lake County judge later today. A meeting of the minds in Springfield as Governor Rauner and House Speaker Michael Madigan are set to meet later today to resume discussions on the state's economic future. The gathering takes place one day after Democratic legislative leaders in the House and Senate refused to meet with the governor. Chicago sports. College hoops, Northern Illinois, Loyola, and Northwestern with wins. The NFL suspends Bear wideout Alshon Jeffrey for 4 games. Monday Night Football, Giants over the Bengals. The news service of Liberty Mutual. From weather to traffic to news and everything in between, you have enough things to worry about every day. Insurance should not be one of them. You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance. 6:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher believes a Trump win was just the start.
This is a movement. Make no mistake about it. We're not going anywhere. Now the movement expects President Trump, wow, does that sound good to say, to do what he says he's going to do. Now this movement holds President Trump's feet to the fire. Do you know what you helped do? We did it.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Are you a business owner or manager who wants your facility to be more locked down? Do you occasionally need to limit access to your building from certain employees at certain times? Turn to Access Master, a proud supporter of AM 560 and Feed the Children. Access Master makes managing access to your facility easy. Whether you need to control access at a single entrance or to all your doors, Access Master will work with you to develop a plan customized for your business security needs. Everyone in your organization can have their own unique access profile to allow them access at certain times of days at various entrances. You can even monitor when employees are on site and receive an email or text notification in real time if employees need to enter your facility after hours. Business owners and managers, make an appointment to review options for controlling access to your facility. Contact Access Master today to help control access to your facilities. Call 800-321-2850. That's 800-321-2850. Please mention this ad.
Hey, it's Mike Gallagher here to introduce you to Jack Amberg. Jack is a retired Army Lieutenant Colonel and a certified top VA loan provider who can help you obtain the perfect loan. Jack, tell us a little more about yourself.
Thanks, Mike. I was both enlisted and commissioned in the military, and I'm VA certified in all 50 states. My mission is closing the loan to fit the personality, goals, and needs of my veterans. We actually underwrite our own loans, so we're a one-stop shop. Many veterans don't know the true savings of using this lifelong benefit.
Tell us how you approach working with realtors as part of the process.
I work closely with my realtors. My mission with them is to close the loan as quickly and as efficiently as possible.
Jack, how can we contact you?
You can call me at 630-995-5244 or online at yourvaguy.com.
Jack Amberg at 630-995-5244 or go to yourvaguy.com. Thanks, Jack.
Banker NMLS number 698289. The Federal Savings Bank is an equal housing lender and member of FDIC. NMLS number 411500.
Get ShopVac's most powerful, feature-packed 14-gallon wet dry vac now at an amazing low price of only $149. For a limited time only, available only at Lowe's.
It's the biggest sale of the season. It's the Apple Vacation Super Sale. Book now and save up to 50% on your winter vacation to Mexico or the Caribbean. Whether you're looking for an affordable weekend getaway or a full week of luxury, the vacation choices are endless with Apple Vacations. 7 nights at Ixtapa at Barcelo Ixtapa start from only $11.99. Or make it Huatulco. A full week of unlimited luxury at Dreams Huatulco Resort and Spa start from just $13.99. Both trips include round-trip nonstop air, resort transfers, all meals, drinks, and taxes. Call Carey Travel Express at 847-639-3300. That's Carey Travel Express, 847-639-3300. Or visit CareyTravelExpress.com. Hurry, best dates and hotels are going fast. Prices per person based on double occupancy for select departures starting January 7th, including charter air on Volaris from O'Hare, and taxes and fees, including September 11th security fees. See AppleVacations.com for baggage charges. Prices subject to availability and change restrictions apply. PC 16132.
6:37. Let's check the roads in our AM 560 traffic center with AM 560's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the northbound tri-state, it's slow going from 111th to the 83rd Street toll. And it's also heavy farther north from 75th to the Hinsdale Oasis and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue, eastbound Adams Tollway, jammed from the tri-state to the Kennedy. And on the Kennedy, it's now 32 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 34. Eden's 27 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 21. The Eisenhower, 51 minutes, Thorndale to downtown, outbound 41 minutes. Stevenson, 50 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 38. The Ryan, 26 minutes, 95th to the Loop. Traffic service of Staples. Staples has low prices on technology for your business. And right now, buy any PC at Staples and get free tech support for 30 days. They'll help you set up your new PC so you don't lose critical files and help you connect to your network and your printer. Staples, make more happen. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Clouds and sunshine. High 58. Clear and 40 overnight. 60 tomorrow. Thursday, partly sunny, breezy, near the record temp of 74 that was set back in 1975. Currently, we have 39 at O'Hare, 47 along the lakefront. Next news coming up at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Your money. Find out how to keep more of it and live debt-free. Tonight on The Dave Ramsey Show, starting at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, I'm glad you're back. Did you have a good 3-day weekend?
I did.
My birthday weekend?
Yeah. I was also not invited to your birthday party, just like you were not.
Uninvited to my birthday party. My
Yeah,
friend's
it's
house.
tough weekend.
Plans shifted.
Tough
Yes,
friend
okay.
circle.
I don't have any friends. I have to
In
make I have to-
Jacobson world, as we call it.
I'm going to find new friends. I'm going to do a go on Craigslist and find friends.
Looking for friends. You may want to workshop that idea a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Marcus Brown, our program director, suggested that. He's like, you could go to Craigslist and start a Find Me Friends page.
In the other category.
Who wants to go walk their dog with me?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, maybe kind of
Start with
within
coffee?
your social
Or-
circle and extending it. Maybe
Okay.
that's a better path. Or more cats.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Wait till that cat cafe opens up. I'll never leave.
Are your friends wearing safety pins these days? Have you seen this?
I don't know. They won't let me look at them.
Right. They're shunning you like the Amish. You walk
Don't
down.
come over. I can't look at you,
You
right
walk
now.
down Lakeview and they just turn their backs. They pull over.
Here comes Jacob. Say, don't look.
But you
Don't
see
make eye contact.
people wearing safety pins,
I have seen
putting
people wearing
the safety pin icon on their Facebook page profiles and whatnot.
Yeah. What is that all about? Is it for diapers?
Exactly.
Are we going back to cloth diapers?
It should be for diapers for these people, but it's because they're a safe space because they're not a Trump voter.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what it is.
So if you don't vote for Trump, even if you wrote in another candidate, you still have to put a safety pin on?
Well, you don't have to do anything. I'm saying people are doing this to demonstrate they're not a Trump supporter and that they themselves constitute a safe space. So in terms of your search for new friends, if you see somebody wearing a safety pin, that's not going to be one of your new friends. Don in Lincolnshire, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy.
Hello.
I'm calling about the left and their gun control advocates
Yes.
who today have decided that they're going to the grand opening of a Portillo's restaurant on Lake Cook Road in Deerfield to try and shut down the restaurant because the restaurant refuses to place a no guns sticker on their front door. Portillo's has not done this on any of their restaurants, and they're trying to have a show of force to try and shut down Portillo's.
That's why it's like the Wild West at every Portillo's, because they don't have that no gun sticker, so people go in there and they're always shooting their guns at each other. Right? Thanks for the call, Don. Thanks for the heads up. This is productive. It's productive. Now I'm in the mood
I
for.
can't.
Now I'm in the mood for a combo and
what's your favorite
a
over there?
piece of chocolate cake from Portillo's.
Chocolate cake.
I can't hear Portillo's and not think of the combo and the chocolate cake.
What's your combo? Oh, the sausage and the Italian beef
Yeah.
in one? Oh, my, that's a heart attack sandwich. I got a gripper. Dicka. Heart attack
Good
sausage.
stuff. A couple of updates on terms of Trump's inner circle. It's interesting to see what he's doing with Steve Bannon.
Oh, yes.
Shadowy lurking Steve Bannon, Reince Priebus, and Kellyanne Conway. It's like the Reagan triumvirate approach. You got kind of a ruling junta at the White House. So Reagan did it with Deaver, Baker, and Meese. So this, I would say, is a little bit less talented crew than those three, but we'll see how they do. I still think they're talented. But it's interesting that he's taking that kind of group approach to managing the affairs. Now, they'll have different roles and responsibilities. Kellyanne Conway clearly will be on message. Bannon actually is very much interested in geopolitical affairs, and he's developed, as I've read, a pretty close friendship with both former U.S. Ambassador to the UN John Bolton as well as retired General Michael Flynn. So he actually, in addition to kind of being Trump's alter ego as a populist, which is really what Bannon is, kind of a populist conservative, small c, may be influential in foreign policy areas. And then, of course, Priebus, kind of the access to the establishment, Capitol Hill, perhaps more of the day-to-day in terms of running the show in the Oval Office. So, but it's just the approach is interesting.
What about Steve Bannon, though, on a personal level? I mean, he's had some accusations leveled at him in the past, and he's, provocative on Breitbart News, which I thought he was more provocative just to, get listeners or to get viewers, to get clicks on the internet.
Well, so I just retweeted this thing that I had posted a year ago when it came out. It's a Bloomberg profile piece from October of 2015 on Bannon that goes into his whole professional history. If at Dan Proft, if you want to take a review, it's a good read. Gives you a lot of perspective on him and his background. And since kind of the whole he's an anti-Semite, he's alt-right, he's this, he's that. You know what he is? He's a former Wall Street banker.
Right. He worked for Goldman Sachs. His dad was a partner at Goldman Sachs, wasn't he?
Then he went on his own with a small group, and he had his own consulting firm that did deals in media. And one of those deals he did was Castle Rock Entertainment. And one of the
little company?
One of the deals he did, one of the stakes they got in one of the deals they did, they got a stake in a little show called Seinfeld.
Oh, that little thing. Did that show take off?
So Steve Bannon had made heap big money in investment banking and in particular in the media space. But he's worked with a lot of people, including Ted Turner was part of some of his business dealings.
But women see him as just, a misogynist.
Nobody knows who he is. They're just
because remember Dana Lash had leveled some accusation against him, but we weren't sure when he was working at Breitbart News, and and some people left.
Well, this was the whole flap with Corey Lewandowski and that former Breitbart reporter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that was that whole dust up. But I mean, in terms of what you're hearing now from people about Steve Bannon, nobody knows who he is. They're just repeating what somebody else on the left has said on one of these cable news. Oh, he's alt-right, he's a misogynist, he's this, he's that.
Anti-Semite because he won't let his kids go to school. That was during a divorce. And you leveled crazy things against people during the divorce proceedings.
That was an allegation that he denied. And oh, by the way, even some former Breitbart staffers who had fallings out over Breitbart said, even when they've been critical of Bannon, they've said he's not an anti-Semite. That's not been their experience. And we have a good friend over there, Joel Pollack, who from here ran for Congress against Jan Schakowsky a few terms back, and has now been at Breitbart for some time. Joel is Orthodox Jewish. He's not going to be any place that is anti-Semitic or that tolerates anti-Semitism. So because Breitbart does a lot of stories about the criminal activity, instances of criminal activity by persons that are here illegally, or instances of criminal activity and general agitating by Black Lives Matter, that makes them racist and all these things.
Some see him as a sinister figure.
Well, I understand, but I'm just saying. So the Bannon thing. We'll have to see how it plays out. Reince Priebus was complimentary of him, as was Kellyanne Conway. So we'll see how it plays out, and we'll know him by the work that he does and the work that the Trump White House does. But let it breathe. All this name calling going back and forth. I'm not sure we should place too much stock in it. I had one other idea though, in terms of thinking about the cabinet, since Rudy Giuliani's name has been mentioned as a possible Secretary
of State. I think he's a little too in your face to be a diplomat and going overseas, going around the world. I wouldn't pick him for that.
It's an interesting choice. That's an odd choice for me as well. I don't see him as Secretary of State. Maybe Attorney General.
Attorney General, yes. That's what I thought he'd be pegged to. But now they're saying Jeff Sessions may be Attorney General or possibly Secretary of State or Department of Defense. Well, his name was floating around on CNN this morning for all three of those positions.
I like Sessions for defense. I could see that. Here's an idea for Dr. Ben.
Mm-hmm. HHS. No?
VA.
VA director.
I think Ben Carson for VA would be better than Ben Carson for HHS or certainly Surgeon General, which is like a kind of
Sturgeon General, as according to The Simpsons.
Yeah, this is kind of an honorary position. I mean, you need to put Ben Carson to better use than that. But the VA, because what's the fundamental problem of the VA? I mean, it's a bureaucracy problem. Fundamental problem, though, the fundamental responsibility, providing quality care to our servicemen and women. How about putting gifted hands in charge at the VA to make sure that quality care is actually provided and in a timely fashion? I'd like to see Ben Carson at VA. Take your thoughts on other people for other cabinet posts as we're playing fantasy Trump cabinet until these selections are made, these nominations are put forward. And we'll take more of your calls after this.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Today, some clouds and sun, a high of 58 degrees. Then Wednesday, it's going to be sunny, a high of 60. But get this, on Thursday, get your tea times ready. I think I'm going to go hit the little white ball. It's been a long time since that's happened. Partly sunny.
So think about playing golf.
Thank you. Long and in the center. It's going to be a record high of 74 degrees under mostly sunny skies. Let's see if any records are being broke on the roadways with travel times. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Well, good morning, Amy and Dan. Right now, the Edens inbound delay started Dempster. 30 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound, it's 24. The Kennedy running 39 minutes, so O'Hare to downtown. No savings in the Express. Outbound, 41 minutes. The Eisenhower, 53 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. And outbound, 43. Stevenson, 53 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, 39 from the Tri-State. Outbound 45 minutes to 355. The Ryan, 26 minutes, 95 to downtown. Southbound on Lakeshore Drive, it's heavy approaching the Stevenson after a crash. Northbound slow from Stevenson to Jackson. The northbound Tri-State has delays. First from Cicero, much of the way to LaGrange Road. Then from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis. Reagan till to North Avenue. Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. President-elect Trump plans massive overhaul of Obama policies. Economic report set to be released, and the TVA sells a nuclear plant. Those stories next.
Bill Bennett here to tell you about Augusta Precious Metals. Attention, investors. Your IRA or your 401k may be at risk again. The 2008 crash wiped out up to 50% of IRAs and 401ks. Can you afford to lose again? What if you could store IRA or 401k savings where you can see, touch, and hold it in your hands? With the Augusta Gold or Silver IRA, you transfer a portion of retirement savings into physical coins you can actually see and get fast in case of any disaster. Call Augusta Precious Metals today for a free gold and silver IRA guide. No obligation. Augusta Precious Metals, A+ Better Business Bureau rating, 98% 5-star customer satisfaction rating with TrustLink.org. Trust Augusta. Call Augusta Precious Metals today at 1-855-222-6993. That's 1-855-222-6993. One more time, 1-855-222-6993.
Big rollbacks of Obama-era energy and environmental regulations are on tap to be rolled back. Donald Trump preparing to take over the federal government. The president-elect vowing to rescind what he calls job-destroying executive actions on energy policy and production of oil, coal, and natural gas. Economic reports out today, including the Commerce Department's report on retail sales, another report on business inventories, and we'll also hear how Germany's economy, the largest in Europe, fared in the third quarter. The Tennessee Valley Authority sold an unfinished nuclear power plant yesterday. The buyer bought the plant in northeast Alabama, paying $111 million. It will eventually be completed, we're told. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
A couple years ago, I had a severe accident which disabled my right hand and caused chronic pain and complete suffering. It took many years before really we figured out exactly what it was or how to treat it. My whole goal was I did not want to be on high levels of pain medicine. After some time, I went to see Dr. Kenneth Candido to try to figure out the source of the pain and a solution and how to solve it. He listens. I'm going to cry because it's so real. I've been through so much, and he wants to help his patients, and he He's there for me whenever I need him.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. I have a simple message for you. If you or someone you love or someone you know has chronic pain, contact us. Treating chronic pain issues is what we do. We can make it better. Get an appointment and let's talk. MyPainChicago.com, MyPainChicago.com. All the info is available at MyPainChicago.com. Let's make you pain-free.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity. Good governance requires a framework rooted in first principles. President-elect Trump must set forth his. Chief among them should be to make the 10th Amendment great again, to both counter allegations of authoritarian impulses and unleash the populace's creative energies lying fallow. Trump should reestablish American federalism and devolve power away from the federal government, end the federal government's perverse inducements to the states to expand Medicaid under Obamacare. Block grant Department of Education funding to the states to be used specifically to fund scholarships that give poor kids a chance to go to better schools. Roll back the administrative states' duplicative agencies and redundant regulations. Decouple disaster preparedness funds from adherence to climate change junk science. Consolidate the Byzantine grants and aid mechanism, which provides myriad ways for the federal government to micromanage states and localities. I suspect the nation's 33 Republican governors, and perhaps even some of the Democrats, would welcome greater sovereignty over their affairs. If Trump governs as a neo-federalist, he will make America great again by, in the immortal words of Scott Baio, making America America again.
AM 560, The Answer.
Wow, you just quoted Scott
Quoted
Baio.
Chachi. How about that?
Coming up
Showing my range. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, we're going to take some calls.
That's right. That's what we are going to do. Sorry, I turned around and looked.
Dave in Villa Park.
Hey, how you doing, John and Amy?
Hey, Dave.
Hey, I think the safety pin is a real appropriate. It goes along with the name, the Crybaby Riots.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks for the call, Dave.
I'm going to look. So how big, do you have a picture of this safety pin? Because maybe I can
You can go on
put
your
one on safe.
go on that device there with the screen, and you can see them.
Should I be like a covert operation and walk around with a safety pin and then
Like a double agent.
Double agent.
I like it.
Because I'm going to wear a Pray for Trump T-shirt to church on Sunday because we should start praying for him because we want him to do well, right? And then I could put a safety pin on the side, too, to throw him off a little.
I don't think Jesus is going to be the only one on a crucifix on Sunday at your church if you do that. Lenny in Rockford.
Hey, it's Lenny.
Hey, Lenny. Yeah.
Hey, I have an idea. Well, two ideas here. First off, for Secretary of Defense, Lee Army, and then also come up with a 9mm shell casing via like a pin for element. Show that we support gun rights.
There you go. There you go. Thanks for the call, Lenny. Yeah, that's a nice response to the safety pin.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Hey, you've heard how Automated Systems excels at assisting companies with systems integration and FDA compliance. But they're also a staffing leader. They supply handpicked elite leadership, subject matter experts, and proven technical professionals in engineering, quality control, and FDA compliance to support the life sciences field in executing mission-critical projects. ASI provides highly specialized pros to deliver projects on time and budget. Don't pay a lot more to a big consulting firm, and don't trust the big temp agencies to supply the talent you need. Call Laz, my friend Laz at Automated Systems, when failure isn't an option. ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life sciences companies, from big pharma to startups, and excel through a culture of excellence in execution. For a staffing, compliance, or automation evaluation, call Laz now at Automated Systems at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit AutomatedSYS.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI or AutomatedSYS.com.
Oh, it's hard sleeping on a flat pillow, flip-flopping during the night, or waking up feeling unrested. Well, I suggest you order a MyPillow today. MyPillow has a patented interlocking fill that adjusts to your individual sleep needs. It's washable, dryable, manufactured in the good old US of A, and guaranteed not to go flat for 10 years. Wow. If you're thinking about that tough person to buy for on your holiday list, right now is the best time to buy. For limited time only, when you buy one MyPillow, you'll receive another MyPillow absolutely free, plus 2 free Go Anywhere pillows. I like this one, and the money-back guarantee is extended through March 1st. So visit MyPillow.com, click the radio listener special tab, and use the promo code Amy. You'll get 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows for the price of 1, plus the extended money-back guarantee through March 1st for your holiday gifts. Or call 800-489-0201. Mention the radio listener special and be sure to use the promo code Amy. That's mypillow.com or 800-489-0201.
The most recent U.S. Supreme Court decision on the Affordable Care Act made one thing certain. We will all have to deal with this ever-changing law until at least 2017. If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. That's right, your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 20-year licensed broker who's been educating AM 560 listeners on the Affordable Care Act for the last 5 years.
Thanks, Dan. From now until January 31st, you cannot be denied coverage based on a pre-existing condition. Aetna, Coventry, United Healthcare, and Harkin Health no longer offer health insurance subsidies even if you qualify. One company still does, and they still offer plans that provide access to Northwestern Memorial, University of Chicago, and Rush University Medical Centers. Call me. I can help.
Thanks, Steve. How can our listeners get in touch with you?
They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. That's 630-674-1551.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Well, he pulled a little bit of an upset in his own right. He is Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson, and we'll talk Trump cabinet, Obamacare. We'll talk about it all with Senator Ron Johnson at 7:07.
But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
There's a heavy, dense fog advisory up. Look out your window. Hard to see. Visibilities are down this morning. Mayor Emanuel is pledging a fight on gun violence, and Rauner and Madigan are expected to meet today. A budget showdown in Springfield. Bears wide receiver Alshon Jeffrey suspended for 4 games, and the Blackhawks begin their circus tour trip. WIND Chicago News Time, 7 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. The head of the European Commission says he's worried about Donald Trump. Jean-Claude Juncker's biggest concern that the president-elect leans toward total isolationism. President Obama is sure to be discussing his successor on his last foreign trip. Greece is the first stop, and Fox's Simon Owens live in Athens.
Dave, the president sitting down with the Greek president and prime minister, and before their talks began, President Obama offering reassuring words about the future of America's role within NATO. He said both Republicans and Democrats alike recognize the importance of that military alliance. On the campaign trail, President-elect Trump questioned whether he'd be willing to defend European allies if they don't pay enough. And that's left some leaders here concerned. The president also planning a visit to the ancient Acropolis complex that overlooks this city. Dave?
Well, Simon, they're also talking about Donald Trump at a climate conference in Morocco. UN leader Ban Ki-moon hopes the president-elect changes course and understands the seriousness of climate change. Candidate Trump called it a hoax. Before he left Washington, President Obama said Donald Trump needs to work on his temperament, but should be allowed to build his team, and it's important to let him.
He very clearly said, I look at Donald Trump as pragmatic, not ideological. Wow, what a message that should send to the throngs of protesters, not my president, people accusing he and his senior staff of being things that they're not and saying things that they don't believe.
Kellyanne Conway was Trump's campaign manager. As for him building a cabinet, Rudy Giuliani is a big consideration.
He said publicly that he would not be attorney general. His name certainly has been mentioned in a serious way in connection with Secretary of State.
Are you planning to go somewhere for Thanksgiving next week? AAA predicts more of us will this year, forecasting nearly 49 million Americans will travel at least 50 miles in the holiday season, most by car, an almost 2% increase. This is Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
Officially 40 degrees at O'Hare, 7:02 with dense fog blanketing spots this morning. Drive with care. Jim Talamonte is along in just a moment with the update on your morning commute. I'm Mike Scott, and this morning, an attorney for the widow of disgraced Fox Lake police officer, the late Joe Glenowitz, is requesting that a judge dismiss all charges against her. The motion will be presented to a judge today in Lake County Court. Melody Glenowitz is accused of helping her late husband steal thousands of dollars from a police Youth Explorer program before his faked suicide. Or before his suicide that he attempted to fake as an officer-involved incident. Governor Rauner and Illinois House Speaker Mike Madigan are set to meet today to resume discussions on the state's economic future. The gathering takes place a day after the governor initially requested to speak with Democratic legislative leaders in Springfield. Mike Madigan and Senate President John Cullerton chose, they said, to not attend that meeting due to scheduling difficulties. In a first-of-its-kind radio address simulcast on 47 area radio stations, Mayor Emanuel admits, although the city's moving in the right direction, it faces difficult challenges ahead. We get more on that story from AM 560's David Stewart.
Mayor Emanuel says the prosperity demonstrated by the 11 construction cranes in the loop won't be shared by young Chicagoans without help. On the continuing issue of gun violence, he said the problem won't be solved until the city's young people are given the chance to succeed. So he wants mentors for young people in tough neighborhoods.
I've seen it 100 times with a little nudge, moral guidance, the grounding these kids need. They all pick the right path, not the wrong path.
Emanuel also said parents play a key role in solving the problem, and he said the community has to support the police if they want the police to support them. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
Chicago sports, college basketball wins for Northern Illinois, Loyola, and Northwestern. The NFL suspends Bears wide receiver Alshon Jeffrey for 4 games. And Cubs center fielder Dexter Fowler will become a free agent after declining the club's 1-year qualifying offer. The news service of Staples. Staples print and marketing services helps your business promote holiday sales and provides fast turnaround on cards, invites, even banners, and signs. Right now, get 20% off custom holiday cards and invitations. Staples, make more happen. Ends 12/24. More at Staples stores or staples.com. Heavy fog and at 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The voters have spoken, and after a long and contentious campaign, Donald Trump has been elected our 45th president.
Now it's time for America to bind the wounds of division.
What happens next for America?
We will begin the urgent task of rebuilding our nation and renewing the American dream.
Happens here.
It's going to be a beautiful thing.
This is AM 560.
Nothing we want for our future is beyond our reach.
The Answer.
These days, you gotta have a side hustle. And I'm not talking about a 9-to-5. I'm talking about driving with Uber. It's the ultimate side hustle. You want to earn extra money? Drive with Uber. Have a few spare hours here and there? Drive with Uber. You like the idea of being your own boss? Drive with Uber. You'd make a great boss. You're probably driving right now. You should be earning. If you want your car to start making you money, then visit uber.com/drive now and get your side hustle on today. That's uber.com/drive now.
I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Recently, mortgage rates have dropped to the second lowest level in history. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is all the way down to 3.5%, APR 3.57%. It's a great time to refinance with Quicken Loans and save hundreds every month. So lock in this ultra-low rate before it goes back up. Call 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
7:06. Let's get an update on the roads. AM 560's Jim Talamonte with the latest on your morning commute.
Thanks, Mike. On the Edens inbound at Stop and Go Dempster to the junction. 30 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 24. The Kennedy now 44 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 20 from Montrose, 21 on the Express. Outbound 28 minutes to Montrose, 52 to the airport. The Eisenhower, 55 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 43. Stevenson inbound past Lamont Road. Got a crash in the left lane. It is an hour and 5 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. 45 minutes from the Tri-State. Outbound 44 minutes to 355. The Ryan 28 minutes. 95th to downtown. Crash at the Skyway in the left lane. On the Tri-State Tollway, delays are northbound from Cicero most of the way to LaGrange Road. From the Stevenson to 47th. From the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Adams Tollway's delays. From the Fox River to 59. Roselle to Meacham. And from the Tri-State to the Kennedy. Westbound from Lead to the Des Plaines Oasis for the crash on the right side. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560 for The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Here is meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 58. Tonight, mainly clear, low 40. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high 60. Patchy clouds tomorrow night, low 46. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Fog and 43 at O'Hare. It's now 46 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Health Quest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. Health Quest Radio is heard Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
To be clear about what Chicago is, it always will be a sanctuary city.
The people have spoken. Donald Trump will be the next president, the 45th president of the United States.
We are very grateful in Trump world to both Bannon and Priebus, and I think you'll see them continue to work together.
People said that if their candidate lost the election, they'd be moving to Canada. So let me give you the quickest and directest route. You'd leave out of Tulsa here. You take Highway 75 northbound.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning. What up, Dan and Amy? We got to play a little bit more of that Tulsa weather traffic reporter who gave people who are throwing tantrums, mainly Hollywood celebrities, and I'm not sure how many live in Tulsa, but if you're going to move to Canada, and why not Mexico, because of Trump's victory, here's the route you should take, literally.
And a little bit earlier, we had some folks make a special request. I know a lot of people said that if their candidate lost the election, they'd be moving to Canada. Not sure why, but that was some of the folks' promises out there. So let me give you the quickest and directest route to Canada from Tulsa. You'd leave out of Tulsa here. You take Highway 75 northbound. Okay, 75 northbound up through Kansas, past Kansas City. When you get into Omaha, watch for that junction for Interstate 29, because then you want to take I-29 out of Omaha, Nebraska, right here. You want to take Interstate 29. That'll get you up through Sioux Falls, South Dakota, then up into North Dakota. Yeah, sure. And literally, I-29 will go to the Canadian border. Yep. Now, they're laughing at me. Now, when you get to Canada, this is serious stuff. When you get to Canada, you're going to hit the border here. Make sure you've got either your card or your passport, okay, to get into Canada now.
Yeah, they have border security.
Then you're going to get back on what is known as Highway 75 in Canada, or it's actually the Lord Selkirk Highway. If you're moving to Canada, you're going to need to know this. Lord Selkirk Highway.
There you go. So the route to Canada from Tulsa.
It's not only celebrities. I have a friend who is moving to Monte Carlo. I'm not kidding you.
Oh, well, it must be nice.
Well, I mean,
what are they waiting for? They were waiting for the presidential election to move to Monte Carlo?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Because Trump won, he cut off everybody in his family, canceled his annual golf tournament, and he is moving to Monte Carlo.
We'll miss him terribly. One guy who's not going anywhere, he's Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. Senator Johnson, thanks for joining us. Congratulations on your victory.
Yay.
Well, thanks, guys. And by the way, if you're liberal trying to escape Chicago, you can go right up through Wisconsin, spend some money there. That's probably the quickest way to get into Canada.
Yeah, tell us about it. I think, unfortunately, that is now well known. That's a place to go. Yeah. What is going on? All of our Great Lakes neighbors have good conservative governors and conservative senators, except for land of Lincoln. It's all very disquieting. But Senator Johnson, turning to the policy agenda now. That's what happens after an election, and Republicans have control of both chambers. But there is this wrinkle in the Senate called the filibuster, and one wonders whether or not this is a time to exercise the so-called nuclear option so that the first 100 days are a productive 100 days and are not beset by filibusters in the Senate.
Well, again, I think it's probably premature to be talking exactly how we're going to pass things through the Senate. From my standpoint, the way you pass things through the Senate is you win the political argument. But, there's so many things we can do right off the bat that are probably even more crucial in terms of having that discussion. That's first, let's start reversing all these executive orders that put a crushing regulatory burden on our economy. Number one goal, number one component solution is making sure the American economy realizes its full potential. If you start by reducing the massive regulatory burden, which is about $14,800 per household per year. We need to reduce that. We can do that with a stroke of a pen in many cases because President Obama issued so many of these burdens by a stroke of a pen. You also have to have a competitive tax system. We obviously need to repeal Obamacare. We can do that through a budget reconciliation process. We need to appoint a judge to the Supreme Court, which will also be crucial to make sure we've got the Supreme Court that will overrule some of these court cases that are having to deal with overregulation. So from my standpoint, being a business guy, being in manufacturing, the number one thing we have to do to get our economy moving is reduce the regulatory burden. I'm a little concerned that in the policy wonks around Washington, they're not talking about that as much as they really should. It's the number one thing we need to do.
Well, you mentioned Obamacare, and during Donald Trump's interview with Leslie Stahl from 60 Minutes, not only did we learn that he'll do the job for a buck, but he decided to reconsider two provisions from Obamacare, that being able to stay on your parents' insurance until you're 26, and that if you have a pre-existing health condition, you can get healthcare coverage. So do you agree with President-elect Trump on this, or should he start from scratch with Obamacare?
Well, letting young adults age 26 stay on insurance policy costs virtually nothing because they're generally healthy. So that's not that big a deal. Pre-existing conditions is more complex. I think you can do that combination of high-risk pools and a guaranteed subsidy for some type of high-deductible plan. The devil will be in the details there, but listen, we all share the same goal that we want every American to have affordable and accessible care. Obamacare did not deliver on that promise, not even close. I mean, people have just been dramatically harmed by Obamacare. So, unfortunately, Obamacare has done a lot of harm, a lot of damage. Unraveling it isn't going to be quite as easy as just repeal and replace. We'll have to do this thoughtfully. There's going to be some complexities to it. But in general, I think we all share the same goal. We don't want to have people lose their insurance coverage, and we all want a strong social safety net. So people that literally can't afford insurance, there's going to be health care available to them as well. So, yeah, exactly how that's accomplished, I don't have the exact answer right now in terms of how it's going to work. But, from my standpoint, in Wisconsin, we had things like high-risk pools. A few minor tweaks to that process could have pretty well covered pre-existing conditions.
You're chairman of Homeland Security in the Senate, and so just switching to matters global, the names that are being bandied about for some of the key foreign policy, national security posts, who do you like in which slots, if you have any particular favorites?
Yeah, I really don't want to start getting involved in personalities. That's going to be up to the administration. My job as chairman of Homeland Security will be to take a look at those nominees, move them through our committee, get them passed and then confirmed out of the Senate as quickly as possible. Becoming president of the United States is an enormous challenge. I think there's more than 4,000 administration posts that have to be filled, so it's a huge management undertaking. So, I think the roles of Congress is to just do everything we can to quickly do our job in terms of, getting those individuals that need Senate confirmation confirmed, and I'd say behind the scenes, provide a little advice and consent, not do those things kind of publicly.
Well, what about your friend Reince Priebus? I mean, he's from Wisconsin, former chair of the RNC, now he's going to be chief of staff. Was that a good pick?
Oh, it was a fabulous pick. I'm a big Reince Priebus fan. Reince was our party chair, set up a campaign elections structure in Wisconsin. We've all tapped into. Scott Walker tapped into it and helped build it. I tapped into it, continued to help build it, and then Reince took that into the RNC. So he knows how to build an organization. I think he was very close confidant of President-elect Trump during the campaign as well. He was actually a very close confidant of mine when I first ran in 2010. Another outside business guy needed advice and counsel on a lot of these political issues, and Reince provided to me. He also provided to Trump. So I think Reince is a fabulous pick. I'm really looking forward to working with him as the chief of staff in the White House.
Yeah, I mean, Wisconsin's still the epicenter of politics in this country with you, Senator Johnson, and Speaker Ryan, and Scott Walker, and Chief of Staff Priebus. I mean, why do you guys get all the talent? We don't get any.
Because we're such nice people.
Yes,
I heard Charles Krauthammer give a speech in Wisconsin one time. He said, "You hear Minnesota nice." He said, "I would say Wisconsin even nicer," and I agree with that assessment. So, Bear fans come up to Glenville Field, they see how nice we are.
There you go. Now, one other order of business that has to go through the Senate, and you mentioned it at the outset in passing, is Supreme Court nominee to fill the vacancy left by Justice Scalia's death. That needs to be taken up in short order, and that's going to be an important moment early on in Trump's presidency, isn't it?
Well, again, this is where I give Leader McConnell a great deal of credit. He came out right off the bat and said, let's let the American people decide the direction of the Supreme Court, and the American people now have spoken. They elected Donald Trump, who has a great list, prepared by the Federalist Society, or they certainly helped prepare the list of judges, not liberal activists, super legislators. So now we will hopefully maintain
And I'm going to do everything I can to insist that we have a conservative composition of the Supreme Court filled with judges who are going to have the fidelity and integrity to the written law, the written Constitution. I think it's a very good thing for all of our freedoms, for our constitutional rights.
Now, one other note, just before we let you go, are we finally done? Are we finally done with Russ Feingold after you've now dispatched him twice? Can we put him in the political graveyard, or are we going to have to endure him again at some point?
I guess that's up to Senator Feingold. I have no input from that standpoint.
All right, Senator Ron Johnson, Republican from Wisconsin. Senator Johnson, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Have a great day.
And congratulations. And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
It's foggy out there. Wow. You saw that coming. Thick pea soup. You're going to have to plow through on your way to work this morning. We should have some sunshine, some clouds by this afternoon, a high of 58 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, 60 degrees. But Thursday's the big weather day. Why? Because it's going to be warm, record warmth that was set back in 1975, may be shattered when we hit a high, hopefully, of 74 degrees. Let's get those travel times. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. The traffic's pretty thick on the northbound tri-state, too. Going through that, it's heavy. Cicero most of the way to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Eastbound Adams Tollway stop and go 31 to 59, and then from Higgins to Roselle. Westbound there are delays with a crash at the Des Plaines Oasis on the right shoulder. Veterans Memorial slow northbound Boughton most of the way to Roosevelt and Army Trail to 290. Edens is 29 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose, outbound 31. Kennedy, 56 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 51. The Eisenhower is 1 hour from Thorndale to downtown, outbound 40 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 8 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, 46 minutes from the Tri-State. And the Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. That's traffic on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan Proft here, gentlemen. It's Movember. Yes, another month to remind us to take better care of our health. Many of us are going to grow mustaches this month. Not me, but many of us. But hey, why not go to a doctor you can trust as well? I personally recommend going to the licensed medical providers at Low T Center. They're friends of mine you can trust. At Low T Center, they know we hate going to the doctor. That's why they make it quick and easy. And with their on-site lab, you get your results in about 20 minutes. They even accept most health insurance and have flexible hours, including hours on Saturdays. And right now, in honor of Movember, Low T Center is offering a testosterone and prostate level test for just $50. It's a great time to get your levels checked, especially if you don't have insurance or if you haven't met your deductible yet. Call 630-409-4305. That number again, 630-409-4305. Give my friends at Low T Center a call and tell them I sent you. Call 630-409-4305 or visit them online at lowtcenter.com.
I have actually been on Balance of Nature for a year now. I have MS, and I recently had an MRI. This is the first year that I've had a stable MRI, so I'm thrilled. When I have an MRI with MS, usually there are glowing spots that come through, which is damage on the nerves in my brain and my spinal cord, and when they're glowing, it means they're active. And then my last MRI, they pulled it up, and I honestly couldn't believe that it was my MRI. There was nothing glowing. And in fact, the dark spots were shrinking. They were healing. And the doctor actually said to me, I think we're in remission. I was so happy. I had no idea that that could be my reality.
Call now to find out how to get your free month supply of Balance of Nature. Okay. Call 800-2468-751.
This is not the first time we've elected a racist, sexist, homophobic president. He ain't the first one. He's just the first confirmed one. That's it.
Recently, mortgage rates have dropped to the second lowest level in history. Now is the time for you to take advantage of these historically low rates and save serious money every month by refinancing your mortgage. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is all the way down to 3.5%. APR 3.57%. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN to see how far we can lower your mortgage payment. For 6 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the third year, they also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. It's a great time to refinance with Quicken Loans and save hundreds every month. This ultra-low rate of 3.5% won't last long. So call 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Liberty Mutual Insurance presents a story about pickles.
It's 2 a.m. and your pregnant wife needs pickles. So you pick up some green happiness, but hit a parked car. Great, something else to worry about. Luckily, Liberty Mutual Insurance has 24/7 claims assistance, so you can take care of your claim right away. Problem solved. Now, if only you bought the right pickles.
Visit a local office or call 844-8-LIBERTY. You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company.
All right, guys, huddle up. Coach's car battery died and he's running behind. And since I haven't been paying attention, I have no idea what plays we run or what most of your names are, for that matter. So what I'll do is I'm going to pop this antacid tablet, I'll fall down, I'll fake a heart attack, and then you guys act shocked and concerned and stuff. And hopefully that'll buy me enough time for the coach to get here. All right, team on three.
Make sure you'll be there. Get a car battery test today. Find a location at interstatebatteries.com. Interstate Batteries. Outrageously dependable.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. You remember when comedy used to be funny? It just doesn't seem like it is anymore because, comedy, like most entertainment, dominated by the left. And the left is in full temper tantrum right now.
Grieving. I mean, that SNL open when Kate McKinnon, dressed in the Hillary pantsuit, played the song Hallelujah.
Yeah.
And she was crying and then looked at the camera and said, "Don't give up yet. I haven't."
It was bitter and unfunny and lame. And frankly, also a disgrace to Leonard Cohen, who just passed away.
Or it was that.
And let me
it
give
was
you
just strange. I mean, they're grieving. Clearly, we knew who their candidate was all along.
Let me give you another example. Wanda Sykes. I mean, she's not funny to begin with.
She's not that bad.
Here we go again. I mean, how many female comedians are actually funny?
Oh, is that a gender thing? That's why Hillary's not in office, because of men like you
exactly.
can't vote for a woman.
That's right.
It's all your fault.
I can't vote for a woman.
It's actually a women's
to
fault.
be comedians. I don't. No, you're right. I will not go to Zanies if there's a female comic.
Right.
Unless it's Lisa Lampanelli, maybe.
She is kind of hot. But she does those diaper.
Not hot.
Lisa Lampanelli?
No.
The one with the big lips? That does the diaper commercials?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I got to look up Lisa Lampanelli.
She's the queen of mean. That's her tagline thing. She does. She works a little blue. She's been good on the Comedy Central roast. Wanda Sykes, you'll remember her from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, mainly. That's how she got her notoriety. Here's Wanda Sykes in Boston, a little show. And, she starts MFing the audience, which is an interesting choice.
I was telling everybody, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I was like, I am certain this is not the first time we've elected a racist, sexist, homophobic president. He ain't the first one. He's just the first confirmed one. That's it. All of y'all. All of y'all. That's right. Yes. You. All of y'all. Take none of that.
Yeah.
She's in Boston.
She's in Boston. And started booing her. And she just started pointing at people and telling them to go make love to themselves.
Dropping the F-bombs.
No, that's the bleeping.
Does she not know about Boston?
What with Boston?
Boston, they're a little edgy there. They're a little loud. They're a little in your face.
It's just another left city.
Yeah, but the left city turned on her when she made those comments.
Exactly. Maybe that should be instructive for her, but this is what we have. I like to go back to...
Did she continue with the show? I mean, what do you do after that? How do you recover from that?
Yeah, you don't.
When you start dropping F-bombs on your audience members.
Remembering a better time, a simpler time when sketch comedy shows like Saturday Night Live were funny and they didn't have sacred cows. How about this little treat from Norm Macdonald back when Norm Macdonald hosted Weekend Update covering the Clintons 25 years ago, the first go-around.
Is the First Lady a compulsive liar, though? It's beginning to look that way. In an interview on last night's 2020, intended to promote her new book, It Takes a Village, Mrs. Clinton folded under tough questioning by Barbara Walters and admitted that, in fact, it does not take a village, and furthermore, that she was aware that it does not take a village when she wrote the damn book.
And you remember this lie, the basis of her name? I mean, there's so many to go back to.
For years, Hillary Rodham Clinton has told people that she was named for the first man to climb Mount Everest, Sir Edmund Hillary. But as Esquire magazine recently pointed out, Sir Edmund did not climb Mount Everest until 1953, 6 years after Hillary was born. However, the First Lady does have a good explanation for the discrepancy. She loves to lie.
You go back and watch these clips from Norm Macdonald covering the Clintons and the parody they did, the making fun of those in power, which is what you're supposed to do 25 years ago. And how much of it is real time today and what we've experienced for the last year. How about this one?
Though more indictments are likely in the Whitewater investigation, President Clinton is still refusing to say whether he will pardon former Whitewater associates Jim and Susan McDougal. But when asked if he would pardon First Lady Hillary Clinton, the president was crystal clear, quote, "She does the crime, she does the time."
Think about that. 25 years later, joking about 25 years ago, joking about a Hillary Clinton pardon. And what are we talking about 25 years later?
A Hillary Clinton pardon.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
On AM 560, The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Policy Institute, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Are you a business owner or manager who wants your facility to be more locked down? Do you occasionally need to limit access to your building from certain employees at certain times? Turn to Access Master, a proud supporter of AM 560 and Feed the Children. Access Master makes managing access to your facility easy. Whether you need to control access at a single entrance or to all your doors, Access Master will work with you to develop a plan customized for your business security needs. Everyone in your organization can have their own unique access profile to allow them access at certain times of days at various entrances. You can even monitor when employees are on site and receive an email or text notification in real time if employees need to enter your facility after hours. Business owners and managers, make an appointment to review options for controlling access to your facility. Contact Access Master today to help control access to your facilities. Call 800-321-2850. That's 800-321-2850. Please mention this ad.
AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Let's talk a little Illinois politics, including the presidential outcome in Illinois. 91 versus 79. What do those numbers mean? Find out at 7:37.
And journalists respond to the death of Gwen Ifill and a fitting tribute for her. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Outside, heavy and dense fog. We have 45 degrees, and Donald Trump may be close to a selection for Secretary of State. Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani has expressed interest in the job, as has former UN Ambassador John Bolton, both being mentioned as candidates. Giuliani was asked about reports that he and Bolton are on the short list for the job.
John would be a very good choice.
Is there anybody better?
Maybe me, I don't know.
President Obama is in Greece, leg one of his final foreign tour as president.
It's important that we don't have any single country bear the entire burden of these challenges, that all of us are contributing and participating in alleviating suffering.
The president has said he will use that trip to reassure anxious allies that Washington will honor its commitment to core strategic relationships like NATO. There are now 3 names on the list of those wanting to become chairman of the Democratic National Committee. Former DNC Chair Howard Dean wants the job, as does Minnesota Congressman Keith Ellison and South Carolina Democratic Party Chair Jamie Harrison. Governor Rauner and Illinois House Speaker Mike Madigan are set to meet later today to resume discussions on the state's economic future and the possibility of hammering out a budget. Mayor Rahm Emanuel and Illinois Congressman Luis Gutierrez both say Chicago will continue to protect illegal immigrants from deportation. Both spoke at an event yesterday at the Lurie Children's Hospital. 18 passengers are suing Boeing and American Airlines after a plane caught fire last month on the tarmac at O'Hare. Officials say around 20 were hospitalized after the right engine of the Miami-bound flight broke into 4 pieces. And ready for a pair of those self-lacing sneakers from Back to the Future 2? Nike says its HyperAdapt 1.0 self-lacing shoes will go on sale December 1st. Bring your credit card or lots of cash. The cool shoes will set you back $720. The NFL suspends Bears receiver Alshon Jeffrey for 4 games. Bear Kyle Long done for the season with an ankle injury. The news a service of Staples. Staples print and marketing services, helping your business promote holiday sales and providing fast turnaround on cards, invites, even banners and signs. Right now, get 20% off custom holiday cards and invitations. Staples, make more happen. Ends 12/24. More at Staples stores or staples.com. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager doesn't understand the mindset of Trump protests.
I work very closely with Steve Bannon. He's been the general of this campaign, and frankly, people should look at the full resume. I'm personally offended that you think I would manage a campaign where that would be one of the going philosophies. It was not.
There is no beautiful idea that some
We
people
are very
have
grateful
not used
in
to
Trump.
cover for their evil.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Remodel your kitchen with Galaxy. Buy 1 cabinet and get 1 free with free financing and design services. Call 773-783-8300.
You've always wanted to be your own boss and in complete control of your future. No more glass ceiling, no more being overlooked for that promotion you deserved. There's never been a better time to take that first step. Your first step begins at franchisebuyersguide.info. Put your talent, your skills, your drive, and your determination to work for you and only you. Franchise opportunities include brick and mortar, home-based, product-based, service-based, B2B, and B2C. Unleash the entrepreneur in you. Learn more at franchisebuyersguide.info. That's franchisebuyersguide.info.
As 2016 starts to wind down, it's time to take a good hard look at how your building and offices have been maintained. At Image One, we're aware that everyone has a cleaning service and many are happy, but you should have a backup plan. So when something happens, and it will happen, you're ready. Let Image One be your backup plan. Image One is Chicagoland's choice for custom office and building cleaning needs. Connect with Image One online at imageoneusa.com or call 800-223-1985.
7:36. Let's get an update on the ride to work this morning in our AM 560 traffic center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The northbound Veterans Memorial Tollway, 355. It's bumper to bumper this morning from I-55 most of the way to St. Charles, and from the Army Trail Toll to 290. Southbound 53 now has delays. Rand to Kirchhoff. Edens, 28 minutes. Like Cook to Montrose. Outbound 35. Kennedy, an hour. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 55 minutes. The Eisenhower's an hour from Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 43 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 11 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan runs 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Track, service of Accountemps. Accounting and finance salaries are on the rise in 2017. Get an in-depth salary forecast for more than 400 accounting and finance roles in your area by visiting them at Accountemps.com. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the aircomfort.com Weather Center, intervals of clouds and sun today, and some heavy fog has rolled into the area, high 58 and a low of 40 overnight. Currently 43 at O'Hare. It is a 46 along Chicago's lakefront. It is 33 in Aurora this morning. Your next news update is at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by The Steve Beeman Show with co-host Carol Parisi, empowering you Sunday evenings at 8 right here on AM 560.
Hey, before you read about it on Facebook or Twitter, well, hear about it from your friends. Find out what today's big stories really mean with me, Sean Hannity, today at 2, right here on AM 560. The Answer.
Morning, Dan and Amy. Talk a little bit about Illinois politics for a minute, but in the context of the presidential election. So it turns out that Donald Trump won 91 counties in Illinois, 91 of our 102 counties.
Wait, 91 of 102. Let me guess. Cook County, he didn't win.
Well, Cook and the Collars is where he got cleaned out. Back in 2012, Mitt Romney won 79 counties in Illinois. It's an odd thing. It's an odd thing. I point this out because for so many Republicans in this state, Trump was the name that shan't be spoken. He won 91 counties. He did better than Mitt Romney. And nobody had a problem celebrating Mitt Romney. And it's not that you have to celebrate Donald Trump or you have to abide everything he said or did during the campaign. But the idea of this hand-wringing and all of the machinations, including by the governor, to try and avoid invoking his name is really silly. And it's bad politics. Rather than manning up and addressing Trump and addressing the arguments and addressing the choice straight away. And it is worth noting, because I tend to think that suburban families and Cook and the Collars, not terribly different than suburban families in, I don't know, Ohio, Indiana, Wisconsin, Michigan, Iowa, Missouri. And what do those states have? Republican governors and Republican senators and conservative ones. And Republicans ascendant. What does Illinois have? Republicans scratching out an existence, even with the pickups on November 8th. I just think it should be cause for some reflection, as these election outcomes are always cause for reflection, good, bad, and indifferent, on the kind of surrender-first approach of so many Republicans in Illinois that have been plying that strategy for so long to the effect of super minority status. Now, I know we're barely out of the super minority now in the House, but effectively super minority status. And on November 8th, Donald Trump won 31 states, 91 of 102 counties in Illinois, and we lost a congressman and we lost a U.S. Senate seat. So how's the approach going? That approach, that surrender-first approach, that, hi, my name is Dan, I'm a Republican, I apologize. That's the Mark Kirk approach.
Mm-hmm.
He gone. Mark Kirk, who got 200,000 votes fewer than Leslie Munger. Mark Kirk, who got essentially the same vote as Donald Trump, who didn't run a campaign in Illinois at all. And the argument was made, oh, well, let's just let Mark Kirk be the nominee because,
somebody owed him a favor, I heard.
Well, because we're going to lose a seat anyway. That was the approach. You're conceding a U.S. Senate seat. It's fascinating. Conceding a U.S. Senate seat, we're going to lose it anyway, and he'll do the least damage down ballot. Really? It would have been difficult to find someone who would have done worse than Mark Kirk this cycle.
Who was the conservative candidate that was mulling around? Oh, Joe Walsh, I think, was mulling around a possible Senate bid.
Well, that's not. There were other options to challenge Mark Kirk, not including Joe, that would have been good options, but those
in power
were dismissed by those in power.
Mm-hmm.
And so now where
somebody owed somebody a favor.
I don't think it's about favors. I think it's about failed. It's a failed strategic approach to electoral politics, and we continue to fail and fail and fail. Here is something that Republicans may want to consider, including in the suburbs, and necessarily in the suburbs, because if the Republican Party is not a party of Northwest suburban Cook County in particular, and the collar counties, it will never be a majority party in the state, period, full stop. Just can't be. Can't make the numbers work. So maybe the lesson for Illinois Republicans, since we're the outlier, certainly in the Great Lakes, increasingly nationally, and we're not California or Oregon or Massachusetts. We're not this dyed-in-the-wool left-wing state. We're not. 91 of 102 counties Donald Trump won. Perhaps the play in the suburbs is to do a little bit of what Trump did, and that is to stoke the revolt. But you can do it in a way that is more dignified, both in terms of personal conduct and rhetorical style, than Trump. You don't have to be Donald Trump. You can't be Donald Trump. You have to be yourself. But you do have to stoke the revolt, because it is interesting to note to me that 70% of the country, of the electorate, thought America was in decline, and they did something about it. 31 states for Trump. 80% of this state thinks Illinois is on the wrong track, and they have for some time. And what happened in Illinois? Not much.
Well, you did pick up a few state house seats.
Right, not much.
Which is not much. Because you picked up 4, right?
4 in the House and 2 in the Senate. Lost 2 statewide office holders. Lost a congressman. Still in the super minority in the Senate. Minority in the House. But the more important point is we got hammered in the suburbs. Hammered in the suburbs. No two ways about it. And so does that say something about the angle of incidence the Republican Party is taking in this state? And again, look around. Are we that much different than Wisconsin and Indiana and Missouri and Iowa and Ohio and Michigan? I don't think so. So there has to be something we're doing or not doing that is not meeting with approval among so many suburban families, because you have effectively people saying, yeah, Madigan, Cullerton, 40 years, the same people, the same Chicago Democrats. That's not working out well. And yet they're not turning to an alternative. There's no revolt. Why not? There's certainly no revolt in the city. Why not? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro. Answer line, 64636-DA, turnkey.pro. Text line. Steve in Hinsdale, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan, thanks for taking my call. I think your comments are right on point. In fact, I would go even further in that direction, too, that with President Trump's first ICE sweep in Chicago for the illegals, I would, scoop up Rahm Emanuel and Gutierrez right in with all the others and deport them. Then I think we'll actually get somewhere. So let's mistakenly grab the mayor and Gutierrez, then we'll be all set. Thanks a lot. Have a great day, guys.
Thanks, Steve. That's an interesting, accidents happen. We live in an accident-prone society.
Don't say that. You sound like my lefty friends.
No, I'm just kidding.
I know you're kidding, and they are, I hope, too.
How about this? This interesting piece from Abraham Miller, Jewish news site, Jewish News Service is the site, jns.org. From the ashes of the Chicago machine arises a Trumpster. Abraham Miller, he's a retired professor of poli-sci at University of Cincinnati, emeritus. He writes, I was born a Democrat. In fact, there was most likely a prayer for FDR at my circumcision. Although I failed to utter even an amen, being more concerned with my own down-ballot news tip at the moment. He's funny. I grew up in Chicago's Lawndale neighborhood as Richard J. Daley was still building his political machine. Contrary to his name, Lawndale never had any lawns and was designed as a neighborhood of single-family homes to keep out people like me, Jews. Despite some of the best efforts of Gentiles, Lawndale ended up with the greatest concentration of Jews per square mile anywhere in the world. Some 70% of the residents were foreign-born. Everyone spoke English, but Yiddish often became the language of commerce in mom-and-pop stores. Met my first Republican when I was 8 years old. He was a rent collector for a big apartment building. In my world, there were Jews and Catholics. I was a teenager before I met my first Protestant. That was when we moved from Lawndale to a Swedish enclave called North Park.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet. Then it really turned
the
bad.
Swedes.
Oh,
blame the Swedes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he talks about the machine. The machine was Irish, but the Poles were the most dominant ethnic group. The Irish spoke English when they got off the boat, or in Chicago more likely, the train and had an advantage in breaking into the political system, but the Irish knew how to allocate the ethnic spoil system favors for people along ethnic divisions and something we called functional corruption. And he talks about, how the machine works, which you've talked about at length. He talks about, his own progression in growing up in Chicago. But then he gets to this. The jobs that the men and women went to as they boarded the streetcar at 14th and Pulaski no longer exist. The Democrats have abandoned the white working class. Show me a college or a university with a program and administrative offices for poor working class whites, and I'll show you a college or a university that does not exist. At a banquet in a large city some years ago, a group of wealthy business people listened to the tales of dreamers for whom they were creating scholarships. Their stories elicited more tears and sobbing than the table linen supply could accommodate. Just miles away were working-class American citizens for whom no one was raising money. There is no status in helping white people. After all, being white is now not only a privilege, it is a crime. So for those of you shocked by the ascension of Donald Trump to the presidency, he's your creation. You ignore the very working class base that was the Democratic Party. You sent their jobs overseas to help the poor in other countries and make the wealthy class even wealthier. Bonuses come from keeping costs low and profits high. Even if Trump cannot deliver on each and every promise he made, what is refreshing is he spoke to the problems of people in decaying rural and industrial towns and cities whose workers powered the machinery that drove back the armies of Germany and Japan and kept the world safe from tyranny. He spoke to the people who boarded the streetcar on 14th and Pulaski for the jobs that are no longer there. So you pubescent tyrants running through the streets this morning, get over it. Trump won, and you own it because he's your creation.
My mom was telling me that when we were growing up, Democrats were the working class people, the union workers, and now that is flipped. Now Republicans are union workers and the working class. And I know you hate that terminology, but it's true.
Well,
because all the Democrats that I know, they're rich, they're millionaires.
And Professor Miller, in his piece, talks about how his mom never voted for a Democrat after Jimmy Carter because of Jimmy Carter's perceived, and I think real, anti-Semitism. So that was a watershed moment in his family's life. But his story about Chicago and growing up Chicago and the connection he makes to the present is very real. And so the question is, when will the revolt come to Chicago and Illinois, or will it ever? Steve in Milwaukee.
I've been watching your situation with great interest from up here, comparing it to our own. And in my opinion, the people of Illinois lack the backbone to stand up to the teachers union and AFSCME, which is the private sector up here got tired of being bullied by the unions.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the people of Illinois to rise up and say, we're not going to take it anymore.
Steve, it's an excellent point, and you're right on the mark. And I know the budget repair bill and the siege on Madison that Scott Walker and Republicans won was a turning point for Wisconsin. Maybe the AFSCME contract that's pending with the governor will be a turning point for Illinois. Maybe. I'm not terribly hopeful, I got to tell you. Mike in Mount Greenwood.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. I just wanted to point out a very interesting couple of maps that I saw. It was on a website run by police officers, believe it or not, that Second City Cop blog. It shows the breakdown of the election by neighborhood in the city of Chicago, and then the second map is a breakdown of violent crime. And it's very interesting how the breakdowns are polar opposites yet match up exact.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, Mike. Fred in Highland Park.
Good morning, folks. Dan, in regard to your comment about winning more votes in the suburbs, I agree the Republicans have to be the party that challenges the order. But one of the things we have to do, and I am a proud Republican, is we have to figure out a better way to appeal to voters who are African American and Hispanic. The demographics in the suburbs are changing.
Yeah.
And those votes go very heavily Democratic. I saw it here in Lake County. And until we can figure out a way to appeal to voters, again, who are either Hispanic or African American, we're going to be locked in this death spiral we've got. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I think, Fred, you're right on the mark. I mean, I agree with that, of course. Here's what I would say, though, to that. The approach that we've taken is to say, politically in this state, from what I've seen over the last 20 years, is generally speaking the tantamount to I have black friends. I have Latino friends. I think the direct appeal needs to be made, but I think it needs to be made in a way that isn't pandering, that isn't, hi, I'm Dan. I'm here in Pilsen just to let you know I'm not a racist. No. We're going to start from the basis that you and me have a lot in common and probably agree on a lot of things, and we're going to get right to those things. And, and I'm not going to hear any excuses, and I'm not going to abide the victimology or the bigot baiting that's perpetrated by the left and has swayed so many, not just minorities, so many in the suburbs, I think, fall prey to that bigot baiting and that culture of deference. I think we need to take a much more aggressive posture, knowing that our policy choices are right, knowing that our policy choices empower people as opposed to empowering the state to lord over people, and put it between people's eyes. And I don't care if you're black or Latino or white or Asian or whatever. I think we need to start being much more aggressive with the way we communicate our ideas about improving people's lives in this state. Everything about the Republican Party over the last 20 years, not everything, but a lot of it, and many of its leaders have been apologists. Leading with an apology is not persuasive. It's not persuasive. We should be proud of who we are and what we're trying to do, and stop with all of the predicates and again, apologies and couching things. Let's go after the people who've destroyed the state straight away, and let's also point the way forward straight away. This is what we're going to do. We're going to advance school choice for poor kids in Chicago and throughout the state. That is what we're going to do. We are going to reduce your overall tax burden. We're going to rethink how we fund K through 12 education in this state so Illinoisans are not paying usurious property taxes. This is going to happen. This is where we're going to take the state if you give us a chance, rather than the kind of the mealy-mouthed pandering that is so attendant to Republicans' efforts to, quote-unquote, outreach to minorities. By the way, the term outreach to minorities, a term Alan West hates, outreach. This is just, they're part of our universe. And so that I don't think there's a special thing that needs to be done any more than there's a special thing that needs to be done to all the white families in suburban collar counties who aren't voting for good Republican candidates either.
And now, a moment of objectivism with Yaron Brook and the Ayn Rand Institute.
Many problems in healthcare today are blamed on the free market. High drug prices, we're told they're due to drug companies free to set their own prices. Insurance premiums on the rise, most place the guilt on insurance companies who have the freedom to price their own products. But the reality is, America doesn't have a free market. Today we live in what philosopher Ayn Rand called a mixed economy, a mixture of freedom and lots of government controls. And healthcare is one of the most controlled industries in America. It's because of this mixed economy that many of today's healthcare problems exist. If you investigate, what you'll find is that it's not freedom, but government regulations that are to blame. From the Ayn Rand Institute, I'm Yaron Brook.
This has been a moment of objectivism from the Ayn Rand Institute. To learn more, listen to the Yaron Brook Show, Saturdays at 4 on AM 560, and visit ariradio.com.
If you enjoy Yaron Brook's Moments of Objectivism, consider making a gift to support content like this from the Ayn Rand Institute. ARI fosters a growing awareness, understanding, and acceptance of Ayn Rand's philosophy of objectivism to create a culture guided by the principles of reason, rational self-interest, individualism, and laissez-faire capitalism. To support this work, go to ariradio.com and click on the Donate button. Your tax-deductible gift will help to spread the message of Ayn Rand to the next generation.
Hey, do you need to sell your home right now? Has it been on the market so long your listing expired? Well, I know the man who will absolutely sell your home now. It's Saul Z and the Z team, and he needs homes right now all over the Chicagoland area. Saul's database of thousands of buyers are looking for homes in the $250,000 to $750,000 range. Now, there's likely a buyer for you right now, so don't wait. On average, Saul sells a home every single day. No other agent sells your home quicker for more money. He's so confident he'll sell your home that he offers a 59-day guarantee. That's right. List your home with Saul. If it's not under contract within 59 days, Saul sells it for free without his commission. Again, 59 days or he'll sell it for free. And Saul needs homes to sell right now. So contact Saul Z today at saul.net. Saul.net. That's SAUL.net. Or dial 888-346-0666. That's 888-346-0666. And tell Saul that I sent you.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
About 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I went from being able to work 14, 16 hours a day with no problem to where I could barely walk a block to the store without having to stop and rest. I went on to the phytonutrients about 6 months ago, and within a couple of months, my medical doctor had cut my prescriptions down in a little bit smaller dosage. The next time I went back a month later, I walked into the doctor's office and he says, "My gosh, what's happened to you? You don't even look like the same person." He looked at my legs and the swelling had gone down. My blood pressure was down. The venous stasis ulcers that I had had on my legs for the last 4 or 5 years because of the poor circulation were all healed, and I'm feeling far better.
Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
No matter what type of business you're in, having a strong business banking partnership can help your bottom line. I'm Jeff Boundy, president of Cornerstone National Bank and Trust Company. We strongly believe that trust, service, and relationship are the cornerstone of a successful business banking partnership. Customers like Rick Williams of Pump Supply agree.
Hi, my name is Rick Williams, owner of Pump Supply Incorporated. As a business owner, I recognize the importance of relationships. I need a bank that understands my business and is able to respond quickly and creatively to the needs of my company. Cornerstone has been a valuable business partner and has helped me grow my company and seize opportunities as I come across them. Whether it's providing a line of credit or financing the acquisition of equipment or real estate, Cornerstone has been there for me every step of the way.
Thanks, Rick. Please visit cornerstonenb.com, or I invite you to give me a call at 847-654-3000 to explore a business banking partnership.
Equal Opportunity Lender. Member FDIC.
Heavy, dense fog. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. He'll only be president 2 more months. So much of what President Obama is discussing on his last foreign trip in office is what his successor might do. He's now in Greece. So is Fox's Simon Owen live in Athens.
Dave, Greece today, and then later this week, the president heading to Berlin to meet with the leaders of Germany, France, Britain, Spain, and Italy. So a number of European leaders to check off in the next few days, some of whom have openly expressed wariness about how relations with the US might be about to change, not least when it comes to defense. President-elect Trump has suggested he might rethink America's role within NATO. President Obama saying today Republicans and Democrats alike recognize the importance of that military alliance. Dave.
Simon, President-elect Trump spoke with Russia's president yesterday. He and Vladimir Putin discussed improving relations and the situation in Syria. Russia relaunched airstrikes there today, saying it's going after ISIS. Opposition activists claim there's been a new offensive hitting rebel-held areas of hard-hit Aleppo. The president-elect and Mike Pence meet today to keep building their new administration. There's a lot of speculation around Rudy Giuliani as possible Secretary of State.
A job that he's qualified for and a job that he would do exceedingly well.
Kellyanne Conway was Trump's campaign manager. Other big-name Trump surrogates are also being considered.
Newt Gingrich, who's already dissed Secretary of State in favor of a position as strategic advisor. Former rival-turned-loyalist Dr. Ben Carson, a noted neurosurgeon, is being eyed for possible education secretary. Retired Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, who's in line for a defense or national security post.
Fox's Carl Cameron. A showdown is brewing over sanctuary cities.
The city of Chicago is your home.
Mayor Rahm Emanuel and other Democratic leaders in other cities vow to protect illegal immigrants from deportation, despite President-elect Trump's vow to withhold federal funding. 'Tis the season already at the mall. Stores all dressed up for Christmas. Americans have already been in the mood to shop. Retail sales rose 0.8% last month after a 1% increase in September. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Heavy, dense fog, 43 degrees. Winds this morning are calm to 3 miles an hour out of the north. 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. An investigation is underway at this hour after an elderly woman from Pennsylvania was killed by a vehicle on Chicago's south side. Authorities say Phyllis Chafin was struck by a car near 88th and Stony Island. The 74-year-old pronounced dead a short time later at a nearby hospital. No citations have been issued. An attorney for the widow of disgraced Fox Lake police officer Joe Glenowitz is requesting a judge dismiss all charges against her. Glenowitz is accused of helping her late husband steal thousands of dollars from a police Youth Explorer program. That motion will be presented to a judge today in Lake County Court. Governor Rauner and House Speaker Mike Madigan are set to meet today to resume discussions on a state budget. Madigan and Senate President John Cullerton chose not to attend a meeting yesterday at the governor's office. Chicago's police superintendent believes increased patrols by authorities have reduced the amount of gun violence over the weekend in the city.
Our combined efforts were meant to send a clear message to criminals in these communities that their actions will not go without consequence, and to let residents know that we're there to help them take their communities back.
Policing ramped up on the south and west sides, the operation resulting in 44 arrests, including one homicide suspect. Chicago sports, college basketball in full swing, wins for Northern Illinois, Loyola, and Northwestern. The NFL suspends Bears wide receiver Alshon Jeffrey for 4 games. Bears offensive lineman Kyle Long done for the season with an ankle injury. The news service of Compassion International. There's a boy or girl living in poverty right now. They don't have enough to eat, can't go to school, and you can release them from that poverty when you become a sponsor with Compassion International. Find out how at compassion.com/radio. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network and a service of Turnkey.pro, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, American Airlines is being sued by 18 people who were on a flight from O'Hare Airport to Miami last month when the plane caught fire. There were 20 people injured when an engine failed during liftoff. The lawsuit claims the engine was constructed from defective material, and American Airlines employees were negligent during the evacuation of the plane. It also names Boeing and General Electric. The lawsuit doesn't specify what damages are being sought. Home Depot was busier in recent months. Earnings top forecast. Home Depot says more people were shopping at its stores and were spending more. The chair of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Mary Jo White, is stepping down in January. White has been spending the last 6 years enforcing the Dodd-Frank Act. Her departure will allow the Trump administration to name a new SEC chair. The Dow closed up 21 yesterday to a record. NASDAQ dropped 18, S&P down a fraction. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
It's 8:05 in Chicago. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The Sean Hannity Show.
How deep, how profound what you have done is now going to impact this country, I would argue, in such a positive way compared to what it would have been. Just the Supreme Court of the United States alone will transform this country in such a powerful, positive way.
Sean Hannity, afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that you're probably driving right now. Sitting comfortably behind the wheel with a tasty caffeinated beverage in your cup holder. Well, if you were driving with Uber, you could be earning money right now too. That's because Uber is the ultimate side hustle. Extra cash whenever you want. Earning you can turn on and off, just like your car. This isn't just another job, it's a totally flexible way to earn. So go ahead, get your side hustle on. Visit uber.com/drive now. That's uber.com/drive now.
I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Recently, mortgage rates have dropped to the second lowest level in history. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is all the way down to 3.5%, APR 3.57%. It's a great time to refinance with Quicken Loans and save hundreds every month. So lock in this ultra-low rate before it goes back up. Call 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
It is 8:06. A check of the roads. In the AM 560 traffic center we go. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the inbound Kennedy, it is jammed. Foster to the Hubbard Tunnel, an hour and 16 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 57 minutes from Montrose, 40 in the Express. Outbound an hour downtown to O'Hare. Edens, 23 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 40. The Eisenhower, an hour 14. Thorndale to the post office, 54 minutes from Manheim. Outbound an hour and 8 minutes to Thorndale.
Stevenson, an hour and 5 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 46 minutes. The Ryan, 38 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound, it's gummed up from 132 to 120. Northbound, 111th to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to Grand Avenue. Reagan Tollway has big delays from 355 to 294. And the northbound Veterans Memorial, very slow from I-55 most to the way to Roosevelt, and from the Army Trail Toll to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, here is our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Patchy morning fog for the outlying areas. Otherwise, today we will see a mix of clouds and some with a high of 58. For tonight, it will turn out to be mainly clear with a low 40. Then a mostly sunny day tomorrow, high of 60. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
It is 44 at O'Hare, 47 along the lakefront. Next news at 8:30, Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
To be clear about what Chicago is, it always will be a sanctuary city.
The people have spoken. Donald Trump will be the next president, the 45th president of the United States.
We are very grateful in Trump world to both Bannon and Priebus, and I think you'll see them continue to work together.
People said that if their candidate lost the election, they'd be moving to Canada. So let me give you the quickest and directest route. You'd leave out of Tulsa here. You take Highway 75 northbound.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy.
Good morning, Dan.
Oh, it is. And so last night, Bill Curtis and Tiny Dancer dined on tall grass-fed beef while feeding Chicago Bull Jive.
Hey!
How about it? 40-some stations, including this one, hosting a half-an-hour infomercial that rivaled that god-awful CNN series produced by Bobby Redford.
And with Mark Gonkel.
And Mark Gonkel, Chicago's a city that plays hard and works hard.
Terrible.
Sorry, did you say
agitprop.
Plays hard and works hard.
Yeah.
I
Give me
like
a
Mark
break.
Gonkel, but he's a better writer than on air.
I mean, are we going to continue indulging this? Here are the words of wisdom from one ballerina.
I've seen it 100 times with a little nudge, moral guidance, the grounding these kids need. They all pick the right path, not the wrong path.
Is he crying?
Pick the right path, not the wrong path. That's what the kids need. They need Rom's moral instruction. You know, what do the cops need? They need to be supported, to be woven into the tapestry of the community. They're not policing. They're part of the community. They need to earn it. I mean,
I'm so excited, Dan.
I mean, honestly, are we going to be suckers to this obvious reputation reclamation project that Tiny Dancer is on? Is it obvious to everybody, or is it just me?
This is a free campaign announcement for him. Free campaign ad, I should say.
Well, let's get get perspective from a grizzled political veteran. He's our friend Charles Thomas, ABC7 political reporter, joins us now. Charles, thanks for being with us.
Hey, man, look, I got a question. Did the stations get paid?
I don't know.
For that?
Charles, I asked our program director.
It was a straight-up infomercial.
Yeah,
totally.
Shocking.
I mean, it was.
And Bill Curtis didn't push him. Boy, what a surprise!
Wow, and the questions were set in ahead of time.
No, it was set up. It was scripted. I mean, that sounded so scripted to me. And those of us who cover the mayor, well, I think I can speak for them. Those are all the talking points that we've heard for the past 6 months. There was absolutely nothing there new. But what I find really intriguing about it is that it had to have been planned for several weeks to get this done.
Yeah.
So did they know at the time they were planning it to do it 6 days after the election that Donald Trump would be elected president of the United States, and it would all seem so insignificant? But were they thinking when they planned to do it that Hillary Clinton would have been elected and that Rahm would be speaking in this grand blue light about number one, his accomplishments and all this great stuff he was talking about, and that he would be sharing the blue light of victory with Hillary Clinton at the time. Was that part of the planning?
Well, this is what I can tell you. We just learned from our program director that we did not get paid, that he objected to taking it, but he was overruled, and this has been planned for 2 months.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it had to be. You're right, Charles. It had to be planned. That's planned. That's interesting. Yeah. So what about this though too? Was it to your point, Charles? He was going to bask in the blue light of victory along with Hillary. Was that going also to be a segue to this rebranding of Rahm that's going to take years and leading up to 2019 if he wasn't plucked for D.C. by a victorious Hillary?
Exactly. This was almost a legacy moment for him to say, hey, this is what I did, and I'm on my way to the next episode, and I'm going to be helping, Hillary in Washington. I don't know if that was part of it, but it could have been. So here he was doing this self-adulation 30 minutes without a safety line. He's out there on his own. I mean, man, it reeked of desperation.
But I still can't.
It really did.
I know, but did you learn anything at all from that 30 minutes? I mean, was anything new, any little nugget of information, Charles?
Well, he repeated the statements he had made earlier in the day at Lurie Children's Hospital when he talked about Chicago remaining a sanctuary city.
Right.
And he was all for that, although after that meeting, that news conference, when we wanted to ask him critical questions about how he would raise money if the president, as he has vowed, to cut federal funding to those sanctuary cities for those programs that serve illegal immigrants, what would he do? He literally quick-stepped out of that press conference. He would not stop, would not talk, even though he had just made these statements. Some of the other people there, Luis Gutierrez and a couple of aldermen, they did hang around and answer questions. And they actually said they'd be willing to raise taxes to sustain programs in the city of Chicago for illegal, undocumented immigrants.
Yeah, I watched your report.
But the mayor didn't address that.
Yeah, your reaction when 15th Ward Alderman Lopez said that about raising taxes, your reaction was priceless.
Oh, there's always
room.
There's always money to be had. I mean, Tiny Dancer's Toady Forrest over at CPS, more resources for CPS for students coping with an electoral outcome that they didn't anticipate. Boy, there's always money when it's time to play politics with favored constituencies.
Yeah, it was a very empty-sounding press conference because there were not any details about how they would maintain the whole sanctuary city status when we all know that the law says that the federal government, and solely the federal government, has control over matters affecting immigration. And they were flying in the face of basically the law. I mean, the law says the federal government has control over immigration, who comes and who enters and who enters the country. And you have them white-knuckling this. They're just trying to hang on so desperately in the face of what basically the American people have said on the subject at this point.
Well, so is it clear to you that Rahm is running for re-election in 2019? I mean, I know that's 3 years down the road, 2 years down the road now, but I mean, he's going to need all those 2 years.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think he'd like to at this point, but I think he has to make some serious reassessments about everything, given what happened in the past 6 days or a week ago. Quite frankly, he's going to have to regroup. I think he did this because he was this event last night because he was committed to do it.
And
I think the whole calculus toward making the decision to do it, I think they presumed that Hillary Clinton would have been elected president. And he wasn't. And again, he sounded just so insignificant last night.
Yeah, he didn't sound powerful. But so we're learning more information from our program director, Charles, and I know you'd love this. He said that the mayor dictated the terms of the interview and that he refused to take live calls. And then I responded, what would happen if we didn't comply as a station? And he said nothing. It was a radio industry PR stunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole business of reading questions from Twitter, I mean, I think the technology is here for people to call in live to radio stations and have the person. Isn't that the way it works these days?
Yeah, we do have that technology. Yes, we do. That's a good point.
And why wouldn't you use that for what you want to call a town hall?
Well, I mean,
that wasn't come on.
Yeah.
And he only agreed to do it if he could be at City Hall his protected little nest.
Well, I thought the question that Curtis asked, "Why are you so great?" I thought that was pretty hard hitting. Let me ask another
Followed
question.
up by you, the man.
Yeah. What
makes you tick?
Do you think your worst quality is that you care too much, Mr. Mayor? Charles, I want to get your take on state level for a minute while we have you. The progress, +4 in the House, +2 in the Senate, that was made by Republicans and by extension the governor on November 8th, out of the superminority in the House. But Madigan's not showing up for a budget meeting that Governor Rauner wanted to have. Do you see this impasse, not having a budget, just a series of stopgap budgets, continuing until the 2018 election? Madigan has no interest in a budget.
Well, he certainly has given that indication early on when he would not attend the meeting yesterday. Apparently, he's going to attend a meeting today. Yesterday, that sounded like a total hissy fit, that he was having some kind of tantrum. I think public reaction has pretty much forced this meeting today. What could be more important than sitting down after the election and talking and getting back to work? What was he doing yesterday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon that was more important than what's going on in Illinois right now? I'm talking about the Speaker of the Illinois House, reputedly the most powerful person in Illinois. What was more important at 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon that he had to do? And he hasn't told us that. But what could have been more important? People should ask themselves that question for him.
Maybe he was preparing his 2015 tax returns for release. So now that Rauner's released his tax returns, Madigan will undoubtedly release his after all of the.
That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting to see.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, I think you have to ask yourself, what was he doing that was more important, other than we can maybe having a hissy fit
and
over having lost these 4 seats in the House and his supermajority or any hopes for a supermajority. And losing some fairly important state reps, particularly those downstate.
John Bradley, yeah. And what does it also say about his real interest in trying to find any path to a constitutionally balanced budget with the governor?
Exactly. I mean, if anything, the meeting yesterday would have been symbolic for him that he's truly interested in resolving the impasse. Not to go to the meeting, come on. And then Cullerton taking his lead.
Well, of course, dutifully.
And Cullerton has even said it, and apparently the governor has said that Cullerton told him, here I go, third. he said that Cullerton takes his lead from the Speaker. And he didn't show up yesterday, so it looked...
Well, I guess
there's a chance this could go on until 2018.
Well, sure.
They had to put on their new safety pins.
Well, yeah, but I'll tell you what. I mean, for them, Chicago and the suburbs, nothing changed. So why should they be chastened at all? I suppose. Charles Thomas, ABC7 political reporter. Thanks for joining us as always. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, and he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
And according to our program director, the only two PDs that objected was AM 560 WIND and WBEZ.
Oh,
yeah.
Good for BEZ.
They didn't want to be controlled.
NPR. Yeah. We're in solidarity.
Yeah, don't mess with us. Hey, don't mess with this forecast. Fog this morning. It's pretty thick out there, but it should be clearing up as the day progresses. Sunshine, some high clouds, a high of 58. Travel times, here's Jim Telemonte.
Amy, your Kennedy's brutal. An hour and 22 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, an hour from Montrose. 48 minutes in the Express. Outbound 52 minutes to the airport. Eden's 25 minutes. Lake Hook to Montrose. Outbound 34. The Ike, an hour 15. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound an hour. Stevenson, an hour and 7 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 40 minutes. Ryan, 38 minutes. 95 to downtown. Tollways are heavy. I'm Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
The website, upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, it's where we have premium content, sometimes that we don't always get to the show, get on the show, or the depth because of time constraints and the like on this show. Upstream-ideas.com. Long-form interviews, most recently Colonel Alan West, Sebastian Gorka, Michelle Malkin, commentary, Man on the Street, Connect the Dots. Lots of value-added content. Go to upstream-ideas.com and sign up.
Barbecue grill ready? Check. Cooler packed and loaded? Check. Favorite jersey washed? Check. Lucky socks not washed? Check. Tickets good to go? Check. It's not even game day yet. But when it is, we'll be ready on the Husky Sports Network.
Kickoff between the Eastern Michigan Eagles and your NIU Huskies is set for this Wednesday, 7 p.m. Catch all the action on the Answer's sister station, AM 1160, Hope for Your Life.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Gina Labus, President and CEO of Mid-States Glass and Metal and a customer of Signature Bank since 2011. As we expanded our business into all aspects of the glass and metal industry, we needed a bank who could grow along with us. That's when we met Mick O'Rourke, co-founder of Signature Bank. Mick and his team took the time to understand the ebbs and flows of our business. They worked with us to find a solution that would support our growth. Mid-States Glass and Metal is proud to work with Signature Bank because they support Chicagoland women-owned businesses like mine.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
A senior software engineer full stack is needed to develop applications and tools utilized internally and externally, contribute to requirements gathering, architecture, design, and implementation of enterprise-class UI and web portals, deliver on software projects using proven development processes Agile and Scrum, develop improvements for front-end best practices and web application layer implementation. Candidate must possess a bachelor's degree or equivalent in computer science or management information systems. Equivalency will be considered based on a measure of 1 year of university education equals 3 years of work experience. Must also have 3 years experience with PHP, MySQL database, and Python. Also required are experience in service-oriented architecture, SOA, MVC standard, modern coding security practices, and hosting industry, employment or ownership of server VM, and permanent U.S. work authorization. Please send resume and cover letter to Deanna Swanson, HR Director of Singlehop, LLC, 500 West Madison Street, Suite 801, Chicago, Illinois, 60661.
If you're an IT services pro or you just manage IT in your organization, you know how important data storage is. Hiding a server in the back closet next to the coffee filters? Well, you don't have to be running for president to know that's a dumb idea. Today, you need data storage solutions that are safe, secure, and ready for anything, run by professionals who care about you and your business. New Continuum Data Center is a cutting-edge West Chicago colocation facility that's 80,000 square feet of cooled and connected awesome. But don't think of us as a data center. Think of us as the people inside the data center. Talented pros who are monitoring your servers 24/7. We're here to customize solutions, answer questions, carry out tasks to your exact specifications, or just get out of the way while you work in our comfortable, secure, state-of-the-art facility. Whether you need a single rack, a secure cage, or a private suite, or just aren't sure, let's talk about designing the right solution for you. Visit newcontinuum.net/radio today and get up to 3 free months of service just for taking a tour. Some conditions apply. That's newcontinuum.net/radio, or call 1-800-432-COLO and mention this radio ad.
I'm Alice, owner of a growing company. Our
entire business depends on our phones, so I was challenged when our phone service providers struggled to deliver our calls. Missed calls means lost revenue. I heard Innovative Networks helped AM 560, so I called. They provided an innovative solution that reinforced our phone infrastructure and enhanced call flow. I truly appreciate how comprehensive, diligent, and cost-effective Innovative Networks was in providing us a solution that scales as my business expands. They even replaced our outdated phone system and provided hands-on training to maximize our capabilities. Amazingly, it cost us nothing. I'm saving money and more focused on growing my business. I'm thrilled with Innovative Networks.
Follow Alice's lead and call Innovative Networks at 312-889-9090. They're A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau. Call 312-889-9090 or visit go4inet.com. Are you happy with your carrier?
My name is David Hochberg, and I'm Vice President Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance your existing home, give me a call. When purchasing a home, you could call your bank, surf the internet, or you can call me. Why me? Because in addition to my outstanding customer service, market knowledge, and low rates, I have a team of dedicated in-house underwriters, which gives me total control over the loan process. If you're purchasing a home, always compare closing costs, interest rates, and make sure your lender has in-house underwriting. If your lender doesn't underwrite their own loans, hang up and call me immediately. If you'd like to work with an experienced team of loan professionals who will always look out for your financial best interests, give me a call now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. I've helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage and Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage License T4358, RMLA, NMLS 19186.
Hi, this is Jeff from Basement Flood Protector. Your sump pump is the only thing in your home standing in the way of water rushing in and damaging the personal belongings you care so deeply about. Yet it is often the most overlooked and unappreciated system in your home. Your car has a check engine light, your computer warns against viruses, and your fridge tells you when to change the filter. So why shouldn't a sump pump warn you if there's a risk of losing tens of thousands of dollars in water damage? A pump that just beeps warnings at you is no good if you don't hear it. Over the decades of our business, we've experienced and analyzed every reason why people's homes flood. With today's technology, we believe that flooding is not just unacceptable, it is now completely preventable. That's why today's best practice for flood prevention is to install a protector system with built-in self-testing and notification. We are Basement Flood Protector. Protecting homes from flooding is all we do. I invite you to call today at 800-238-0822 or visit don'tflood.com to learn more and for no-nonsense pricing. That's 800-238-0822 or don'tflood.com. Use the call letters of this station for a 5% discount.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, saying goodbye to a journalists.
And we'll say hello to Dean Angelo, Chicago FOP president. Ask him about the superintendent capitulating to Black Lives Matter. That's at 8:38.
And forget about the gay rodeo. We have gay curling up north. We'll explain. First into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
47 degrees. The president in Greece this morning. Leg one of what will be called his last official foreign tour as president. President made clear he'd be using this trip to reassure European allies that Washington would continue to honor commitments to core strategic relationships.
He expressed a great interest in maintaining our core strategic relationships. And so one of the messages I will be able to deliver is his commitment to NATO.
Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani would like to be the next Secretary of State. During a speech yesterday, Giuliani aimed to demonstrate his knowledge of the nation's military and financial relationships around the world.
ISIS short term, I believe, is our greatest danger.
His name has been coming up, as has former UN Ambassador John Bolton. House Republicans say they expect Paul Ryan to be reelected as House Speaker, but some from the House Freedom Caucus question if Ryan is steering the chamber in a conservative enough direction. An investigation is underway after an elderly woman from Pennsylvania was killed by a vehicle on Chicago's south side. It happened near 88th and Stony Island. An attorney for the widow of disgraced Fox Lake officer Joe Glenowitz is requesting that a judge dismiss all charges against her. Melody Glenowitz is accused of helping her late husband steal thousands of dollars from a police youth program before he took his own life. Governor Rauner and House Speaker Mike Madigan are set to meet today to resume discussions on a state budget. Madigan and Senate President John Cullerton chose not to attend a meeting yesterday. Chicago sports. College basketball winners Northern Illinois, Loyola, and Northwestern. The NFL has suspended Bears receiver Alshon Jeffrey for 4 games, and free agent Cubs center fielder Dexter Fowler has declined the club's 1-year qualifying offer and is expected to sign a multi-year offer with another team. The news, a service of the 89-cent pancake deal at Burger King. How is this even possible? Right now at Burger King, you can get 3 pancakes for 89 cents. 3 hot, fluffy golden pancakes for just 89 cents. Unbelievable but true. 3 pancakes, 89 cents. Only at Burger King, limited time only. Price and participation vary. 8:33 is our time. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher believes a Trump win was just the start.
This is a movement. Make no mistake about it. We're not going anywhere. Now the movement expects President Trump, wow, does that sound good to say, to do what he says he's going to do. Now this movement holds President Trump's feet to the fire. Do you know what you helped do? We did it.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, roasted fresh daily in Batavia, Illinois.
No matter what type of business you're in, having a strong business banking partnership can help your bottom line. I'm Jeff Boundy, president of Cornerstone National Bank and Trust Company. We strongly believe that trust, service, and relationship are the cornerstone of a successful business banking partnership. Customers like Robert Weissite of Robert C. Weissite Company agree.
I appreciate the depth of experience my Cornerstone banker brings to the table. Last June, we located a building we wanted to buy for expansion. My Cornerstone banker walked me through everything I could expect to face in advance, from the letter of intent all the way through the day of closing. It went very smooth and predictably and with low stress. He had been through this type of transaction many times, and his years of experience helped me make my purchasing experience predictable, efficient, and successful.
Thanks, Bob. Please visit cornerstonenb.com, where I invite you to give me a call at 847-654-3000 to explore a business banking partnership.
Equal Opportunity Lender. Member FDIC.
8:35. Let's get an update on your ride to work this morning in the AM 560 Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Inbound Eden's delays start around Foster. It's 25 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 37. Inbound Kennedy, delays start at Central. It is an hour and 25 minutes, so here to downtown. An hour and 3 minutes from Montrose, 45 minutes in the Express, outbound 53 to the airport. The Eisenhower, an hour and 15 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. 50 minutes from Manheim, outbound. Thorndale, it's 59 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 6 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Crash at Lamont Road in the right lane. Outbound, it's 39 minutes. Ryan, 40 minutes from 95th to downtown. Outbound 19, crash at 63rd. Tri-State southbound stop and go up Plain to Atkinson. There's a crash in the left center lane. Northbound, slow from Harlem to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Adams Tollway delays, Barrington to Beecham, and Arlington Heights Road to the Des Plaines Oasis. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Clouds and sunshine today, high 58. Clear, low of 40 overnight. Sunny and 60 tomorrow. Currently 44 at O'Hare, 47 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 9, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. And Amy, Dean Angelo and I, a couple of police veterans, we're going to have a little conversation. As you know, Dean Angelo.
Police veterans, what, you do a ride along and now you're a Chicago cop, huh?
He's the FOP president. I think he served as Chicago police officer for like 30 years. I did a ride along with 9th District Commander Don Godsell. I'm not saying who of us, which one of us is kind of more street savvy, more of a decorated law enforcement official. I'm just saying we both are.
Uh-huh.
Dean Angelo, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Good morning.
Good morning. So this story, I need you to help me understand. Black Lives Matter youth cancels protest after meeting with top cop. Other officials, Chicago police promised to meet monthly with a group of African-American students to work on improving race relations after that police-involved shooting in Mount Greenwood a couple weeks back. And so I understand the need to engage the community, but this kind of feels like Chicago police being held up by professional protesters a little bit and, frankly, catering to them. Am I wrong?
Well, there's a lot of politics involved in this, and I'm better at supporting the officers that I work for, that I represent, than concerning myself with other organizations that don't have our officers' best interests at heart, as demonstrated by, their rhetoric and their chants and their signs when they come out and take over our streets. So, that's a 35th Street and a City Hall issue. And, my concerns and my constituents, they come first.
Yeah, but don't you think just meeting with them gives them the sense of power over police officers?
Well, I don't know what goes on, in those meetings. These are high school kids from what I see in the article. But, it gives them a seat at the table. And, I don't see that there's a need for us to be at that table, that's for sure. And, what goes on in those rooms and how those conversations, proceed, I have no idea what happens in those rooms or how they go about getting their agenda across. But it seems like they had some impact not only with the superintendent's office or the department, but also with Marist High School.
Now, what has the situation been like for Chicago police the last week dealing with some of the protests that have been rolling through the streets, particularly the downtown area? How has that impacted CPD officers?
Well, the CPD officers are pressed every day out there with these protests. There's a thin line of them, and they're being subjected to different rhetoric depending on the group that's out there. But we see a common thread running through the demonstrations, and with the demonstrators, it seems to be the same individuals. And this one has a little bit more of a national impact, I think, because of the results of the presidential election. But I do know that our officers are being taken care of around Trump Tower, where they're getting offers of food and drink. They're getting water, they're getting coffee, and that's something we've not seen with any other demonstration from any other business owner or building owner, throughout these last several months.
My friend that's out there every night said that Donald Trump set up a room for them inside the Trump Tower, a safe space, so to speak. Well, a place where they can relax and take a break and get some food. Is that true?
Yeah, that's accurate. And,
no one's reporting on that.
Excuse me?
I said no one seems to be reporting on that.
No, I saw a small blurb on it somewhere on the internet, and one of the members forwarded it to me last night, and then I talked to a couple of different officers, and they substantiated that it did. That room is there, and officers are able to take advantage of it. And again, it's never happened anywhere else throughout all these other protests that anyone has made that type of extension to our members, and it's very well received.
So Rahm had a radio town hall last night, and he talked about police a little bit, and he said they have to earn their stripes, as it were, and we don't want them policing. We want them to be part of the community. I'm not sure I understand what that means, but where does the relationship stand between the mayor and rank and file police right now as the city continues to post record homicide numbers?
Well, any city needs their police, and they need them to be effective. And, like I've said several times for more than a couple of months, people were running campaigns historically on an anti-crime platform, and now we see politicians running on an anti-police platform to garner constituent support. So, as I've said many times, things are upside down. But when you have the numbers we have and you have the incidents we have occurring over and over again, 30-some people shot in a weekend's time, and the body count just piling up. I stated almost 2 years ago that we're on our way to 700 murders, and we're at 690 as of yesterday. At some point in time, you have to continue that measure that they did the other day, where they did more or less a sweep and they targeted these areas. That's proactive policing. That's where we need to go back to. It's not put everybody in the wall that's walking down the street with a backpack, because you got to remember, well, you were in the squad car, so now you know. These officers know these individuals in these areas that they patrol every tour of duty. So it's not like they just fall out of the sky and say, let's stop those 5 guys. They know those 5 guys. Mm-hmm. They know what their activity is.
Yeah.
And it's that type of proactive policing that needs to come back. These ISRs need to go, by the way of the circular file. We need to get back to documenting street stops in a much more compact and express mode, the old contact cards. Maybe add a line or two to give the ACLU the data that they need to move their agenda forward, but you don't need to put a 2-page document or a double-sided document in front of every officer that puts a stop on any individual throughout their tour of duty. You're going to be doing 32 to 40, maybe 50, depending on your district of assignment every tour of duty, and that takes you away from patrol and having that proactive presence in the community, because now you're not on the street.
Well, and I got to tell you, too, from a serious note, from my experience doing that ride-along, to your point, Dean, about the police know who they are looking at, right? And this is not in question. I mean, they make it real easy. You're riding along the street, and you got 4 or 5 guys flashing gang signs at police while they're driving by. So it's not like it's a real secret. So it's just a matter of empowering police to be proactive, as you suggest.
Exactly. Those 4 guys that are flashing signs should be getting searched, and they should be getting, suggested to move on to a different locale. And you can't do that with the restrictions that the department and the past administration with the department had put on these officers by accepting that document. It's not, the court mandated a collection of data. We understand that, but you don't need to have it that extensive. Nowhere throughout the state of Illinois is that type of an extended reporting needed for every time an officer conducts a stop, whether it's a traffic stop or a street stop. It's only in the city of Chicago, and our street stops are down over 80%. So the uptick in these emboldened violence that we see, and 2:30 in the morning and 8:30 in the morning shootings on the highways, and from all the corners of the city, is a byproduct of that type of restrictive measure, where you have to see someone involved in criminal behavior, or they have to completely fit a description of a call where someone witnessed them involved in criminal behavior, and that's the one guy you pull out of the pack and search and discuss his presence. Why are you here? Who are you? Those measures are so restrictive to proactive policing that you have corners that families can't go to if there's a corner store. You have populations that are being held prisoner in their own home because the criminal element feels like it's their corner. And again, as I hate to repeat, but as I've said several times before, and I think we talked about this when we sat down for our conversation. When you lose the corner, you lose the block, you lose the community. And we're seeing that throughout the city in some of our, well, maybe not throughout the city at this point, but in some of our most violent areas.
Yeah, as you said, it's upside down. He's Dean Angelo, president of Chicago FOP Lodge 7. Dean, thanks always for joining us. Appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thanks. And he joined us on our Turnkey.Pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, fog out there right now. Hey, do you see it? Hi, fog. How are you? Hopefully it'll go away soon. By this afternoon, we should have sunshine, some high clouds, a high of 58 degrees tomorrow, sunny, a high of 60. But on Thursday, get out your swimsuits, make your tea times. We could hit a record high of 74 degrees. Let's get the travel times. Sure, the fog's not helping with the travel times. Here's Jim Telemonte.
It is not, Amy. And at O'Hare, the visibility is under a quarter mile. There are some flight delays. Check before heading there this morning. And the inbound Kennedy, traffic is as if it's stuck in a fog. Delays start at Central, and it is an hour and 20 minutes from O'Hare to downtown, an hour from Montrose, 47 minutes on the Express, outbound 45 minutes downtown to O'Hare. Eden's 24 minutes, Lake Hook to the Junction, outbound 35. Guys, an hour and 16 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, outbound 56 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 6 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 39 minutes. Ryan is 35 minutes, 95th to downtown, outbound 17. The Tri-State, slow southbound 132 to 21, northbound 95th to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve, Adams Tollway, slow Barrington to Beecham, and Bussy to the Des Plaines Oasis, Veterans Memorial. From I-55 to the Reagan Tollway and Army Trail to 290. That's traffic on AM 560 The Answer.
This is Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob.
His company put their trust in Air Comfort to keep their business running cool all summer. Bob knows the value of proper chiller maintenance that includes end-of-season service, so he'll be ready for next summer.
I'm ready.
Dave, on the other hand, thought he could put off servicing his chiller at the end of last season and had 3 complete shutdowns this summer. Needless to say, his staff and customers were not happy. Moral of the story? Preventative maintenance will save you time, money, and trouble. As the hot weather ends, you need maintenance on your chiller before the start of next season. Air Comfort has one of the largest commercial and industrial service groups in the Chicago area, with a dedicated factory-trained chiller department that takes a scientific approach to analyzing your system and determining any needed maintenance. They know how to work on large equipment, perform an analysis of your chiller, and get you ready for next season. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com. Air Comfort, providing the right climate for business since 1935.
Here's microbiologist Dr. Kim O'Neill talking about balance of nature.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. They fight against oxidants that damage the cell's DNA, causing mutations that lead to disease. I don't take any supplementation, but I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true, and it's only natural.
Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Licensed in all states. Product availability varies. Agents may be compensated on enrollment.
Michael Stahl is my guest. He's the vice president of Health Markets. Health Markets is trying to make this crazy Medicare system easier to understand. Would you explain how it works?
So Health Markets offers a free service with access to thousands of Medicare plans nationwide to help folks maximize their benefits and save their money. Enrollment in the right plan is not automatic. With so many Medicare options out there, it can be confusing. So my advice is to don't go it alone. Get unbiased help to help find a plan. It may cost less, it may cover more, with lower co-payments, more choices like dental and vision care, and the freedom to see the doctors you choose. Best of all, Medicare assistance is free. Our licensed agents can do the work for you, making the process really easy. The Medicare enrollment deadline is only weeks away, so it's important to act now.
Call Health Markets today.
For your free Medicare assistance, call 800-246-3290. That's 800-246-3290. 800-246-3290.
AM 560, The Answer.
I'm making you think about a real journalist. Gwen Ifill was announced yesterday that she died at the age of 61. Gosh, so young, from uterine cancer. And a lot of people delivered the news with heavy hearts, including Pete Williams. He's the justice correspondent at NBC News.
Well, Stephanie, this is tough duty here because Gwen was a dear friend, a former NBC colleague. She would, pardon me. Gwen would want me to get this together. She was a newspaper reporter through and through. She was a newspaper reporter in Boston and then in Baltimore, a city she dearly loved, and then here in Washington, D.C. at the Washington Post.
And, you know, she got her start on NBC News, but she was always there for other people. What I loved about her, the story was never about her. It was always about the subject matter. And she helped people along the way, including my friend Don Lemon.
One journalist who would tell you like it is on the subject that we just discussed was Gwen Ifill. But sadly, we have lost her voice. The co-anchor of PBS NewsHour died today from complications from uterine cancer. Gwen was one of the most talented journalists of our time, period. Her accomplishments are literally too many to mention. She moderated presidential debates. She was part of the first all-female anchor team on nightly network news, and on and on. I first met Gwen at a National Association of Black Journalists convention in the mid-90s when I was trying to become an on-air reporter. The woman who I had watched, admired, and loved from afar agreed to critique my first demo tape. I hung on to her every word. Now I have a few words for her. Gwen, you were a black woman who thrived in this brutal business dominated by mostly men. You transcended race and gender. You were simply brilliant and powerful. A quiet storm, professional, understated, humble. I won't give your age because I was taught to never tell or ask a lady's age. And I won't say goodbye because goodbyes are so hard. But I will say so long and thank you.
That was nice.
Mm-hmm.
And you're rolling your head. Do you ever cry?
It's too bad she couldn't help him find MH370.
Oh.
No, I like Gwen Ifill. Don Lemon, I don't have a lot of respect for in terms of his journalistic
Well,
chops.
one of the great ones died.
Yes, Gwen
There's
Ifill.
no biased reporting. It was all...
Every reporting is biased reporting. I reject the premise. But she was classy. She was okay. I mean, in terms of, I don't know. I mean, it's sad. It's
Remember,
sad to see anybody
moderated the vice presidential debate between
okay.
Biden and Palin. And...
She's okay.
All right. Well, what do you want to end with? Gay curling?
I sure do. Upbeat note.
Gay curling.
This is why Hollywood is moving to Canada in Moss. Canada's gay curling league. Young gay people leaving their small towns, heading to the big city where they can find love, acceptance, and a gay curling league in Canada.
Have you ever been curling?
I have not, but Brock Endine, 27, the sign of a national curling champion, grew up playing the sport in British Columbia, a rural village in British Columbia, said after moving to Vancouver, he joined the Gay Pacific Rim Curling League. That's unfortunately titled.
It's not called the
That's unfortunately titled, isn't it?
Did you make that up, or is that true?
No, the Pacific Rim Curling League, which this year marched in the Vancouver Gay Pride Parade carrying brooms and wearing shirts that proclaimed, "I swept with your husband."
Oh, that's kind of a fun play on words.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Peter forgot to order supplies for the office, and the boss is not happy.
Peter, we're out of toilet paper.
I'm sorry, boss. I'll order supplies right now. They should be here by next week.
Next week?
Peter really needs to call Combined Sales. Combined Sales has the products and solutions your business can't live without. From paper to pens, packaging, janitorial and safety supplies, and food service, Combined Sales to the rescue. They're local and can get you the supplies needed to keep your business running smoothly, fast, and at a great price. Plus, you'll deal with real people, not just another faceless internet site. You'll have an outside rep, an inside rep, and a customer service rep. Right now, Combined Sales has a presidential offer for new customers. This is huge! Open a business account today, order $500 in supplies, and you'll earn 5% in Co-op reward dollars on all purchases for the next 3 months. Plus, receive a bonus $50 Co-op reward. Request an account set up today at CombinedSales.com. CombinedSales.com.
Are you a business owner or manager who wants your facility to be more locked down? Do you occasionally need to limit access to your building from certain employees at certain times? Turn to Access Master, a proud supporter of AM 560 and Feed the Children. Access Master makes managing access to your facility easy. Whether you need to control access at a single entrance or to all your doors, Access Master will work with you to develop a plan customized for your business security needs. Everyone in your organization can have their own unique access profile to allow them access at certain times of days at various entrances. You can even monitor when employees are on site and receive an email or text notification in real time if employees need to enter your facility after hours. Business owners and managers, make an appointment to review options for controlling access to your facility. Contact Access Master today to help control access to your facilities. Call 800-321-2850. That's 800-321-2850. Please mention